on, people? It is Saturday night, and next podcast is live. Guys, everybody filling in the chat. Yo, we actually have the panel is also filling in over here as well. I got a couple, of the next podcast all-stars, the key vets to kick it off, and then I think a couple stragglers will be in a little bit later. So, first off, coming live from the 405, and I think we need to change his name to KE3 Mega.
What's happening, man? Back from LA, man. Touchdown back at the OKC. Man, had a fantastic time, man. I cannot wait. Already making preparations for next year. Lessons learned on a couple of missed opportunities, but other than that, man, big shout out to all the people that I got to meet out there at E3, from Xbox executives, from PlayStation, YouTubers, all different types of people in different places and looking at different things, different eateries, everything. Everything was just so fucking fantastic out there. And the one thing that I will say before we go on the parade, man, is that once you step on E3, it's a whole different app. Z told me this, but you got to experience for yourself. Once you step on E3, all of that toxic bullshit that you listen to and you see on Twitter, you come to find out that is such a small minority.
Yes, sir.
They're so minute and irrelevant. Fuck those bums, man. For real talk, man. Man, power to the players, man. Power to the gamers out there. Real talk.
Nice, brother. I know we've gone on record many times on this podcast stating that, with social media, everybody out there having a voice. Of course, the minority is the one that speaks the loudest. When these so-called like keyboard warriors go out there, man, they got a really loud voice when it comes to the keys. But it's good to hear that when it comes to E3 and all them gamers like going in to see what's new, to try and play games that will be out in the future and stuff, that that whole console war business is non-existent, man.
Absolutely, man. There was a few in pocket, but they got ignored. Like, it was pretty funny, man. Like, I was expecting, I was like, oh, here comes World War III, but people looked at them, they looked at each other, laughed, and moved on, and so they left looking crunchy because it was on, from the big three. There was a few, like I said, maybe a handful, maybe 8 people I've seen so far, but out of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, everybody was just there to love gaming, and it was from all different races, classes, it just everything, man. You could just see it, man. Everybody was just enthused and just excited, man.
Damn, so, I can tell when you're excited, and we're gonna get into it with you, Mega, because you went to E3. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear what you did, all that good stuff. We do have to go in to the next person I am introducing. He is the self-proclaimed third place person in voting gameplay. I am talking Predator.
It's fucked up, man.
Yo, you said it yesterday, man. I was like, I'm using that. Yeah.
I know I did. Yeah, man. Good to have Mega back, man. We miss you, bro.
Thank you, man.
I know you had a really, really busy E3 week, man. I was really hoping to see some more photos from you and stuff like that. But I got
videos coming. I got a lot of shit. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been a busy week, man. Like, since Saturday up until this week, man, I've been on fucking 10 podcasts. It feels like. I think we did a couple Xbox, me and you and the crew. We did about 3 or 4. I did 2 with Boom. I did Crossfire. I did Saltiest Podcast, and it's just been we call it the Gambit or something like that back in the day, and that's what I feel like I did this week. But the last podcast of the week, and I will rest up and play some games tomorrow. But I still managed to put some fire footage together for y'all this week.
No doubt.
Let's get out of that third place bullshit.
And check this out. I did not forget that the last time we had a show, because it's been a couple weeks, guys. The last time we had the show, Snaps actually put gameplay in and won. So you see the gameplay winner right here. It is Snaps. It is all H1Z1 as usual. Everybody out there in the chat. Once we get through the full rotation of gameplay, I will be putting out a poll on Twitter. It's at Xbot448. Go ahead and follow that Twitter page because you will be able to vote for who had the best gameplay. And tonight, the list is, it is Dark Optimus, it is Predator, it is the Don, and K Mega. So out of those
king
four,
of gameplay has returned.
see, we did not need that, sir. We didn't need that. All right, this is not
Hey, shit
politics.
changed.
This is not politics right here. You don't need to go out and kiss babies and shake hands. But no, so that's the four. I had gameplay, but you can only put 4 people to vote on Twitter to vote for in the poll. So I'm just gonna put my gameplay up on my channel with some cool background music and let that go. I should put that up either by later on tonight or tomorrow morning. It was mostly Destiny 2, and of course nobody that I see out there votes for Destiny 2. But let's get into it, guys. I have a couple news things when it comes to like Fortnite and when it comes to a certain developer coming to 343. I think I'm going to hold off on those a little bit until we get the Don and possibly that Angry Otter into the show. So I'm going to go right to K Mega. Mega, I hope you're ready to tell us what the experience is like at E3. Like, what happened your first day? Like, the conference and everything like that, man. Like, what is the atmosphere of this whole kind of like gaming event, man?
Well, okay, let me explain my very first, when I first touched down in LA, right? Like how wild it was. I touched down, okay, I had a layover, and then when I was from Phoenix to LAX. So then when I finally got there, I was supposed to meet everybody like Avers and Megatron and all them, and Tim Dog and them at the Spire 73. But by the time that I got there, it was already 8 o'clock. So I was trying to learn how to use Lyft because it's kind of something like Uber, and I was trying to use it, didn't know that I had to go upstairs. I was downstairs, and I was all confused. So 2 hours later, I take a shuttle to my hotel, and I so happened to walk into my hotel room, and I was smelling something funny, like, what the hell is going on? Why my room smell like that? And then I walk in, and I put my bag down, and I just so happened to see another bag on the floor. And I said, what the hell? Next thing you know, I just kind of focused in. Somebody was in my bed sleeping. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I run back out there. I snuck.
Hey, that's the special service right there.
I think so. I was like, this is how LA do it, huh? So anyway, I didn't run out. I snuck out because I was like, I don't know who's in this bed. It's hard for me to figure out. So I backed up, went up there. So the lady said, oh, I'm so sorry. I gave you the wrong room. I'm like, what? So I stayed there for one night. Then I stayed there 2 nights, and then I left and went over there to Inglewood. And anyway, the experience other than that was fantastic, man. Just meeting so many different YouTubers out there, and just meeting people that just all in unison about games, man. It's not about the console war bullshit, because I didn't know what to expect. It was all about just what game was this? Is it good? What is Microsoft going to do? And the anticipation of what Microsoft was going to show, because everybody was liking, like, what are they going to do? It's because the best thing I think about the show was that the secrecy of what Microsoft did. And that was something that I was addressing with 100 and Lemon and them, was that, you see, when they moved that conference over to their place, to where they had everything locked down, so nobody had access to, there was no leaks. But of course, when they were at places where they had had Jeff Keighley and all these other people out there, they were leaking out all the information. So hopefully that's something that they will be that they'll be aware of in the future. So if they really want to bring out secrets, then they need to have it in their own area or somewhere.
Hold on. So Jeff Keighley his crew was leaking stuff out, like out in the building.
Well, last year.
Oh, okay.
Last year, so like he was telling the price of the X and all of that, and all these leaks. And then the year before, there was all of the leaks of what was going to be shown and what was going to be talked about. And mostly all of these leaks, if not all the leaks that were brought out before E3, were completely off track, off base. Nobody had no idea what was going on. So if you really look at it like that, it was the secrecy that had everybody amped up, especially the Xbox fans out there.
They did a good job this year, man. When it came to leaking, like that was one thing a lot of people were talking about, like what's going on over there at Microsoft. Like their information gets out, you know what I'm saying? But it seems like Phil and them, they really tightened up that ship, man. It's
Right.
definitely seaworthy now, dude.
Right, absolutely, and this and everything else that was shown out there. Nintendo had a really strong presence out there at E3. Ubisoft, Activision, they came with it. I would say it was Microsoft because Microsoft had 2 floors of stuff out there. They had their own building, and then they had two floors
Damn.
of showing all of their stuff, their third party and their first party. And then you had, to me, Nintendo. Nintendo had a huge space. You had PC that had a little small space. Ubisoft was probably the next biggest to Nintendo, and then there was Activision, and unfortunately, um, Sony came probably the weakest because
Huh.
the only thing that they showed was Spider-Man, which looks amazing. Spider-Man looks dope. Spider-Man to me was like, I might cop that. That looks pretty cool.
Now it's like day one.
Now it's a day one. That game looks great. And
I tried to tell you, man.
you was right. You was right. You was right. And but this is the sad thing about it. The only games that were playable for Sony was VR games, Tetris, Call of Duty, the DLC for Destiny, and Spider-Man. Nothing else was shown.
Gambit from Destiny
Yeah.
2, the Gambit
Oh,
mode.
and the and the show 2018. That was it. That was it. Nothing else was shown. And we were like tripping out. Like, why would you not show Ghost of Tsushima? Because that to me was one of the hottest games that Sony showed in their press conference.
That shit ain't playable yet.
Yeah, I'm
right,
saying.
that's why.
I mean,
yeah.
That's the problem with showing stuff too far out. This is this thing I keep saying. You know, everyone wants teases, but like you can't play it.
Hold on. You can show stuff that's further out, but let people know that it's further out. Don't leave them in limbo and say nothing. That was my whole thing.
And Days Gone was not even there. Like, there was nothing. Like, at least they had people. At least they had like actors in suits for Ghost of Tsushima and for Horizon Dawn and some little funny creature from one of those little cute games that they were trying to show on the show. But there was no strong representation for The Last of Us. I mean, it was crazy, and they didn't show anything from Kojima's game either.
All
So,
right.
like, only thing they had was a life statue of the main protagonist. That was it. It was pretty sad.
So you said that when it comes to Sony, they were showing VR games. And guys, after I ask this question, Pred, if you have any questions for him, Don, if you have any questions for him, minus the one of if he went into E3 without any pants. All right, like we can't ask that on here. But you said they showed VR games. So did you get your hands on like some VR games? What do you think about the VR experience on PlayStation?
No, I did not touch any VR, man. I was scared of the eye herpes, man. It was too many people touching that stuff, man.
Oh man,
I just,
lotion, man. Right.
man, no. I just there was too many people there, and you know how I told you about the eye herpes, so I wasn't going to mess with it. But I am going to invest in getting me a VR. I don't know which one I'm finna get. I don't know if it's going to be on PC or if it's going to be the PlayStation, but I will invest because the games look kind of cool because you can see the people what they were doing from the outside standing. But I just refuse to put that shit on my head, man. I got to have my own particular
It's kind
headset.
of like sharing underwear, huh? It just ain't right.
Yeah, you catch scabies. So anyway, no, I just was like, but yeah, other than that, like, but I went and bought a couple of PlayStation things to the PlayStation Store. Pretty cool. I bought a Kratos, and I bought a Spider-Man mug, and I bought I think a PlayStation hat. And then I took a couple of pictures doing some PlayStation stuff. I met some cool YouTubers. I forgot their names now. I wrote them down. But they were cool dudes though, and it's like I said, just the whole atmosphere was really dope. Nintendo had a lot of cool shit there. Like I took pictures of they had this big Mario hat, and I was gonna try to throw it and make fun of Z and show it to him. Like, man, I'm gonna put this hat on. It was good, but you could touch the hat. But and then they also had a showing of the Z F-Zero. The main character there, I forgot his name, but they had like that in glass, and then like a couple of other weapons like Link's sword and stuff. That was pretty cool. But the games looked pretty cool. They were showing Smash Brothers. People was just sitting there going crazy when they was watching showing Smash. They had a lot of games that really I wasn't particularly caring about. But other than that, like they really had a big showing. Ubisoft was probably uh, the probably one of the most impressive because the one game to me that was probably the most disappointing was Skull and Bones because when it comes to Sea of Thieves, that hashtag that water though, you know what I'm saying, you can't touch it like it and you can't get off the boat. You just attacking, but it seems like you have a really big crew. They got a new Trials coming out. That was fire.
Yeah, that looked like fire. I saw that
That
in the
looked really
conference.
dope. Yeah. The Assassin's Creed. I don't know what's happened to me lately. I used to be non-caring about any Assassin's Creed, but ever since Syndicate, now now man, the new Assassin's Creed that's coming out looks really really dope. And man, hey, so the Almost High, bam! I'm telling you this right now, man. Oh my God, the Division, man, golly, I got to play it. I got to play it. Oh man, oh
You
my
hear that, Mooch?
goodness. It's fantastic. And I mean, it's not even fully ready yet. So, and I know I'm going a little long, but I will say this. I had to go back and I had to play Battlefield 5 3 times. That's
Well,
how
you're
good
a
Battlefield
Battlefield
was.
dude. Ever since like
Yeah, but I
Battlefield
mean,
1, I played that with you, man, and you were all about that, yo.
man, I'm telling you this right now. For people that's reserved about Battlefield 5 compared to Battlefield 1 because of the weapons and things like that, man, it is so much better. And even with the bugs, I wasn't even tripping because the game is so smooth. Like one of the best additions to it is when you actually are playing the game and when you die, you have to always go back and reset. You can spawn instantly right behind somebody, or you can go back and regroup. You have that option now. You don't have to pick and choose now. You can just spawn right back in the game, so which it cuts down on the time on that. Graphically, it's beautiful. The destruction is almost back to the level of Bad Company because when you roll that tank through that, like I was up in this one spot and I was over there using a sniper and I was over here plugging a couple of folks, and next thing you know, I'm starting seeing building fall off on me. I tried to jump out the window, it was too late, man. The whole building fell on us because the tank rolled through us. It was a great experience, man. And Ashen is also a really good game. That dude, thanks to the developer for letting me play that game for damn near almost an hour, man. That was
Damn.
really cool.
Yeah, and with Ashen, it's actually when it releases. I believe it's this year. Did they say anything about a release date for Ashen, man?
No, he couldn't give me a release date at the time, but he
How
said
about a
it's
year?
pretty much, it's almost pretty. He said it's coming soon, but he said tell me an actual date, and he told me that the game is almost near. It's almost near completion, but I had no idea that the game had that type of. It was deep RPG elements, and it's a hack and slash, but it's cool because of the armor and stuff that you can add on your body to make you look bigger and fuller. Because when you first start off, you look really like drab and kind of but once
Skinny.
you kill bigger enemies, you can take their stuff and you can enhance yourself. It's a cool game, man. It's really cool.
Nice, man.
And below was there, but I didn't get a chance to play below.
Yeah, dude. I'm one of those people. I'm past below. We've heard it since launch and everything like that. Like, if it goes into Game Pass, then I'll give it a shot. But other than that,
Yeah.
like
Both games are going to be in Game Pass.
You didn't mention
Below
Ori
and
either.
yeah, Ori. I didn't get a chance to play Ori. The line was too long. Because I was getting my Sea of Thieves tattoo. It was but Ori, I because Lemon and everybody else from GRG went and played it. But I was stood there and watched it for about 15 minutes while I was standing in the line and like
he didn't want to look back. He didn't want to die so many times that you would in an Ori game, man.
well, it's just beautiful, man. Like it doesn't, it looks like a AAA game. How beautiful that game looks, man. It is. Ori is absolutely stunning. Like that to me was probably one of the best looking games next to seeing Gears. Even though Gears wasn't displayed to where you could play, but once you see Gears out there, then and of course I don't know why I'm tripping. You know me about Forza.
Oh
I
my
got to
goodness!
I got to play Forza, man.
Woo.
Holy shit! Like that 4K 60 ain't no joke, Jack. It's
He's like,
man. Yeah, I was over here Venus Demon. It was great. It was great. But there was other games that I played. But I played Soul Calibur. I played Jump Force. We sit there and we was watching some stuff on. I have a couple other games, but man, I know I'm not going to take over the whole spot, but you know what I'm saying. I'll start remembering more things, and then I'll just jump.
Well, yeah, we're going to go through and we're going to talk about the conferences as well. You know, have everybody on the panel give, you know, what they thought was good, what they thought was bad. So anything that, like, you know, if your memory gets jogged or anything like that, you know the deal, man. We are a family here. Just feel free to talk about, you know, whatever comes to mind. Yo, for people who are just tuning in, this is our E3 wrap-up. It is episode number 95, and we have 90 people watching right now. Hey, guys, do me a big favor. Slap that thumbs up button. Share this on your favorite social media. Let's get a bunch of people in here. We did get somebody in here on the panel, and you did hear him. It was like maybe 10 minutes ago, because K-Mega was fangirling about E3, rightfully so, too. But, yes, people, it is time to stand up, show that respect, kiss that ring, the Dom!
Hey guys, I'm sorry I'm late. I have an alarm for the podcast, and well, my phone wasn't on me when it went off, so that's the reason why I was late. I do apologize, but I think K-Mega held down the fort until I was able to show up, right?
I think we all did. We all did. We are professionals here, you know, and we did what we had to do. But it's good. It's good to see you on the panel. And like I said, that angry otter himself should be here a little bit later on. We are going to go back into E3, but there was some news that dropped throughout the week that I think we need to talk about. You know, you guys know I'm on Twitter a lot. I see what's going on in the gaming community on Twitter and stuff like that. And there's been this Fortnite news that has been going absolutely insane on Twitter. Now, for people who don't know, Fortnite, I believe, was announced for the Switch, or they announced crossplay at Nintendo's Treehouse or whatnot. So, when it comes to Fortnite, whether you're playing on mobile, whether you're playing on Switch, Xbox, or PC, they now have crossplay where you can play against people, you know, regardless of those platforms. Now, you do know that there is a Fortnite for PlayStation 4, but it seems that Sony is still denying crossplay. Now, people out there might be like, well, what else is new? But here's the thing. If you got Fortnite on your PS4 and on the Epic Games account on their website where you sign up that, you know, you're playing Fortnite and all that good stuff, which you have to do in order to do special things when it comes to playing on different platforms. When you do that, if you put PS4 as the console you're playing on, whenever you go, if you get the game for Switch, Xbox, or PC, none of the stuff that you have earned playing that game on the PS4 will go on your character on any other platform, and vice versa as well. So if you have it on Xbox and then you put it on PS4, if you put PS4 as one of your platforms, your stuff is not going over there. And this created an outrage. I know Greg Miller was out on Twitter talking about, well, he's going to play it on Xbox now. But then there are people also defending the fact that they said that Sony doesn't really need to do this because they're in the lead. Sony even came out and kind of stated that they don't necessarily have to do this because they have so many millions of consoles sold. So I want to take this to the panel, and we're going to start with Predator. Predator, I know, Fortnite might not be your thing, but what do you think about this news and what Sony is doing with denying crossplay? It looks like crossplay is becoming it's going to become kind of like a standard when it comes to gaming. You know, you're gonna be able to play games across platforms. You'll be able to play people who are on their mobile or other consoles than what you own. So, what do you think is going on with Sony, and how do you feel about this news that they're still denying this?
Oh man, I have to make sure my mic's not muted. My stepson's in here, but
okay,
man. So I don't know what the fuck Sony's problem is when it comes to this. I mean, I know they've been kind of blocking this, and the naysayers out there will come back and, well, Microsoft did that, in the 360 era. It has nothing to do with the 360
All right, Pred, hold on 1 second. Just before, I gotta correct myself here. The Finest in the chat, what up, my brother? He said that Sony does allow it between PC and mobile.
Yeah, they do.
It's just the consoles that you won't be able to get in on that. So like I gotta correct myself. I gotta make sure the information is right. My bad, Predator.
No, that's fine. It's gonna have to happen at some point in time. Like they just deny the inevitable because this is where we're going, as you know, as a gaming environment. Like everybody doesn't want to play or pay for shit multiple times for the same fucking game. Like I've bought Minecraft 1,000 times already. It's fucking ridiculous. But like in this situation, like it's like they're purposely doing this just to kind of like give a giant fuck you to the people who have been playing on PlayStation 4 under the free to play slash not behind a paywall server, and then are switching over to Xbox and or the Switch, and it's just sad. I mean, like they had that interview on Giant Bomb with Phil Spencer the other day. I saw it the other day. I don't know when it came out, but like even he was kind of like, when they asked him about it, he like paused, like, and I don't mean like a short half-second pause. It was like a long pause, and he's kind of like, well. Yeah, and like it's almost like he didn't even know what to say about it, and he was trying to, and even before he even did that, he's like, you guys are trying to get me in trouble, because I know he probably knows what the situation is, and he kind of said, hey, it's business, and it is, but like it's I have all these fucking tweets out today about pro consumer this and anti consumer that. This is definitely an anti consumer thing, and people rather harp about the game being behind a fucking play wall than to harp about this situation right here. And it's an easy fix. And they did it with this. They did it with Rocket League. They're probably going to do it with Minecraft. They're going to do it with every other game that actually has this. And I think what's eventually going to happen is that Sony's going to get left behind while the partnership between Nintendo and Microsoft continues to flourish. You also have to keep in mind, too, that Nintendo is a Japanese company, and so is Sony. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of competition between those two. They're not helping each other. But
there's bad blood between those two platforms.
Yeah, and so like you got that, and then you got the fact that the competing console is the Xbox, and so for me, I'm thinking like, hey, this is just gonna like push the partnership between Xbox
or at least the
Nintendo.
Business friendship, kind of like
yeah. And I'm perfectly okay with that. I mean, I think they need to kind of step on, and Sony needs to kind of step up to the plate and just say, hey, okay, well, we're gonna do this for the gamers, and just because it's a fan thing that people are wanting. And it's going to be real interesting to see what they do going forward. I don't think they're going to change, even though they have the opportunity to come out as the hero, and come back. Because imagine, the media, take on it when Sony says, hey, we decided that, based off of what the fans are saying, that we decided to go ahead and allow this to happen with Fortnite and some other games. I
don't think they're going to do that, man.
I think, Don, you mentioned this, I think, on Crossfire last night. I don't want to steal your thunder, but you did mention something like, once you do this once, you're going to have to continue to do it.
Well, I think it was me and you were on Boom's show.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. I've had so many fucking podcasts.
Pred's been on so many shows he doesn't even know anymore. Man, I'm glad he knows that this is next podcast, by the way.
How do you remember me saying it? That's all I care about.
I remember a lot of stuff sometimes.
A lot of stuff sometimes. Let that sink in, people. But go ahead.
I need to remember this gameplay footage, though, for real.
Yo, I've been watching this, like, that kind of, like, Inception, kind of, like, world-bending type thing that was going on. I was like, oh, holy crap.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting this game.
But that's all I got, man. You can go on to the next guy.
All right, no doubt. We'll hit up the Don because he was on Boom's show, and he talked about that. I was not able to check out Boom's show. So, Don, what do you think about this situation? Now, to me, you know me, I'm a progressive gamer. Like I've been out there kind of like marking the battle lines between me and what I call dinosaurs. People who are just really completely stuck in the traditional way of purchasing games, playing games, and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're trying to embrace the future as much as possible and see where the benefits are, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so the thing with this sort of thing, and I think this is where Sony's mindset, and this is just trying to read the mind of a corporation, so take it for what it's worth, right? I think it's a slippery slope situation. I think once they start allowing it for, say, this one product, it changes and breaches the contract, essentially, the agreements they have with that developer, and so. Yeah, so with that developer on that platform, so then now a precedence, and so it makes it so they can't like cherry pick, right? Because they all sign the same contract to get in. Like a certain percentage of microtransactions goes to Sony, a certain amount of the game being published goes to Sony, like all this sort of stuff. So that's all in the fine print. And part of the thing is they're open to anything that their platform is on. And the keyword is their platform. So that includes PlayStation Now, that includes just PSN, anything along those lines. They'll allow essentially crossplay. That's how it's written in the contract. But anything else that's other than those platforms, it's not going to happen. So if Tardy made some online machine that you can play that game on, not going to happen. They won't allow crossplay on there. Same thing with Microsoft. So it's not like a bitter thing against Microsoft or a bitter thing against Nintendo. It's how the agreement is currently structured. Microsoft's a lot more open about that, and I think and this is where I'm reading the lines. So I don't think they care about this game. They don't really care about Fortnite. I don't think they even really care about what's a Minecraft. I don't really think they even care there, right?
Yeah.
But once they open Pandora's box, you can't put it back away. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And so like you just can't cherry pick on these sort of things, because then what happens is, let's say you did cherry pick. You allow X developer to do it and this X developer to do it, and you just say, and somebody goes, well, we want to do a card game, and you're like, nah, I don't really want that. They're like, but you let it do with these guys. Nah. And then it gets to the point where the developer's like, well, screw you, I'm not going to release my game on your platform, right? Because it's not worth my time. It's pulls people away from my user base. So it's just like this weird slippery slope thing. I think honestly they're in the position of, there's people within Sony that are debating that want it to happen. There's people that may not want it to happen, and it's just trying to get the wording and get everything updated, how it should be. But at the same token, like, there's certain people within Sony, I guarantee, don't want this to happen. Yeah, right. So there's always that fighting against you internally within these corporations. So like Sony's just in a weird place where no matter what they do at this point, they're not the hero. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And I think what it took is people's money being out of their pocket, because like it wasn't just like, and it's not only money, but it's money and time. So people spend a ton of money on Fortnite. They spend a ton of time upgrading their character, and they're not able to carry it over. And you have Donald Mustard that was on the Game Awards. He's basically just said on the Game Awards, we're playing hardball. We're doing this. We're going to force their hand. It is our goal to make crossplay a thing, and not just for Fortnite. It's for any Unreal Engine game. That is a goal there. So,
wow.
So they're not going to stop at Fortnite as far as Epic is concerned. They're really going to push everybody.
Well, yeah,
to be able to have that ability.
I mean, when it comes to crossplay, the developers definitely, they really do reap the benefits from that, because they have, the player base is going to be bigger. It's going to last longer because it spreads across multiple platforms. I do want to shout out Skint Eastwood in the chat. He goes, listen, why should Sony crossplay? It's like, it's never happened before, and if they decide not to, it's life. Who cares? Now, when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, I would actually take that mentality with you. Now, when it comes to the Switch, I know people out there call it a console, they call it a hybrid, everything like that, but to me, it's a handheld. And a lot of people out there will have a PS4 and a Switch. So to me, they're doing those gamers kind of like a disservice when they can have Xbox and the Switch and everything is fine. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it just raises the question, right? Like, who, like, for example, I have friends, like my neighbor, he's a big PlayStation guy, right? Like, he doesn't care I play Xbox, he doesn't care that I play PlayStation, but we want to play together half the time. And so we're on this standoff, like, well, he's like, well, why don't you get a PlayStation? Well, I have a PlayStation, but I just don't want to buy it on that platform, right? and he's like, well, I don't want to go out and buy an Xbox. Like, so it's just one of those weird things. Like, why am I in that position as a gamer when it can be done. Why are developers being forced to go these different, make these sort of decisions as well? When they're willing, to them, it's just their game. And they want as many people to play the game and many people to be engaged in the game. That's where all the real benefits really lie for them, and honestly for Sony too as well. Like if people just will stop investing in the game, then they stop doing microtransactions on that platform. They lose out. So there's multiple reasons for Sony to do it. They can technically make more money if they open their eyes a little bit. You have more developer support on your platform for that as well. Mm-hmm. And it's just the benefits go across the board. I think they just have this old school mentality. They're kind of afraid to share.
The dinosaur mentality, man.
Yeah, I mean, it will work for them for a certain degree, but then they'll hit a threshold, and then it'll work against them.
Yeah,
that's what it boils down to.
Definitely. K Mega, man, chime in here, and I did it. I did Mega Man pretty early in the show, so hopefully I won't do that anymore. But chime in. What do you think about this? It's not stopping player progression and stuff you've earned going PC and mobile, but when it comes to the console and what I like to call the world's strongest handheld, Sony has basically said no. You're not going to be able to link up with that. Anything you earn will not go forward. You're going to have to create a new account, man. What do you think about that, dude?
Well, I look at it is just like what everybody else has been saying. Eventually, if you open Pandora's box, what's going to happen is that other games, the bigger games, I'm looking more on the realms of fighters,
or Call of Duty,
that's a big
Call
surprise,
of Duty,
Mega.
yeah, that. Well, I'm just saying, let's just think of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and it went cross-play. That game would sell a lot more just because you could have the option to go cross-play. So for the developers, they would be more in tune to say, hey, look, I'm all for it. But while Sony being the console leader in sales, they're like, ho, we want to keep our infrastructure, our base, and we don't want to relinquish, because if they play on another console, and let's just say that Microsoft wants to be slick and say, hey, we're going to start putting our shit on our servers and let people start playing on this way or this form, and then if they see that there's benefits on the Xbox side, because to be honest, one of the biggest disappointments is I'm playing Tekken. Tekken plays better on the PlayStation 4 and on PC than it does on Xbox. That's disheartening. Now, Dragon Ball Z Fighters plays well online on the Xbox. I don't know why it's hit and miss, but mostly fighters play better on the PlayStation than on PC. So that's something that needs to be fixed. But I think that if there was crossplay, Xbox would iron that shit out and start opening up their private servers. And also the relationship between Xbox and PlayStation, and Nintendo would flourish even more, because you hear that Nintendo has a couple of problems or whatever, and Xbox will be willing to help them. So that could be a thing, because on the other end, Xbox wants to have the opportunity to have Play Anywhere be a thing, and crossplay is something that they're all about, and they would help. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, hey, you know what? We can open our servers and help you out or show you what you need to do with your servers. But then again, Sony doesn't want us to be there, because like Predator said, Nintendo and Sony's had a bad relationship ever since the beginning of the PlayStation 1. So, I get why Sony would not want to jump all in, but they have no choice in the matter. It's going to happen. And the more that and Epic is all over this, they want this to happen. Fortnite is the biggest game right now. So this is just going to apply more pressure. But by the time that the next gen comes, there's no question that there's going to be more games and bigger budget games that's going to follow suit, because this is just the future, man. They want things to be more connected. They want their product to sell even more.
See, now, Mega, you said eventually they'll have to, and they don't have a choice. Now, in my opinion, they do have a choice, but the choice in the long run will not help them out whatsoever.
No, they'll be left behind. Yeah, that's the thing. You could be the console of the dinosaur, and you'll have a strong fan base, but once, like Don said, like, when you got friends that you can hit up somebody and say, hey man, I want to play this game. Well, PlayStation doesn't have that crossplay, but you can gain more friends on the Nintendo because they have it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So you'll be alienating your own fan base from playing that particular game. And on the PlayStation, I don't play with too many people on PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Online, I know that there's people that do, but you would think that Sony would want that infrastructure to open up and have a reason of why you're paying for PSN. You see what I'm saying?
The funny thing is, K Mega will be playing on his PlayStation and be on Xbox Live chatting it up. Like no joke.
Yes, no joke.
That is true. I'm like, K Mega, what are you doing sitting at home for an hour? No, I've been playing this game on PlayStation right now. I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's
right.
So I mean, you know what this kind of reminds me of, and I'm going to ask K Mega this because he's older than dirt, right? So.
Uh-oh. Did we lose Don?
Nintendo had about disc back in the day.
Hold on.
Yes.
Because that cut out for me, yo, Don. Can you ask that question again? Because people only hear what I hear. My bad, dude.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, I was asking K Mega, doesn't this kind of mentality kind of remind you of like Nintendo back in the day refusing to go to a disc format?
Right. And then also going with the GameCube, which was a powerful little system, but failed because of that, because they went to that really small mini disc. And I think that the GameCube was probably the best, as the last best system of Nintendo's all through all the generations, next to the Nintendo 64, because of the fact that it had great games and the console was powerful. Like games look beautiful on that system.
But that's one decision, that small decision that they not willing to go with the times, what people were looking for, consumers were looking for, hurt them. And they've been paying the price ever since, right? And so like this whole crossplay thing is very much like that same situation, but with Sony, it's that same Nintendo mentality back in the late 90s.
Right. Well, that's the one thing. Like you got other old school gamers. Crap is one of those people that don't like crossplay.
Dinosaur.
I mean, I've heard other people that say that I don't want to play with PC people. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Cool. You have the option not to, but the fact of it is, it's here and it's coming. And what PlayStation is hoping is that group is loud enough to sustain them from not moving forward like Xbox and what Nintendo is doing. But the problem is that once people are starting to play with other people and they see it's not as bad, or that the younger generation is they're all for it, they're the ones that's going to dictate the market.
Or developers learn how to balance it out, right?
Right.
There are things that can be done on those situations. Just people just want to take what has happened in the last 10 years and go, well, okay, that's how it is. Well, no, things can change, things can evolve. It just changes. Having that option as a developer changes your approach on how you're making games.
Well, just look at the digital sales, though. Just look at the digital sales compared to hard copies. Remember, in the beginning of the generation, there was so many people like, no, I'm not dealing with that digital thing because of the fact that, I feel like my digital if I buy digital, my property of owning that game could diminish because they could take that game away from me. And so there were a lot of people that were saying, no, that's why I still buy hard copy. Every year.
It's the minority now. You guys know that, right?
Yeah. Digital sales is been climbing, and it's more people buying games digital. And if you've noticed, we've had more frequent sales, and games are becoming cheaper buying them digital than it is going with hard copy. So so times change. It's just got to slowly evolve, and the gamer will follow suit. So that's all that is, man. It's just the future.
Nice, man. And I got to say, the man who has saved the world over 224 times has joined the panel. Yes, Dark Optimus!
Hey, what's up, everyone? Sorry I'm late.
Well, you say sorry to every single person in the chat starting now. We have over 100 people by name.
Did I fucking tell you once?
Hey, you shut your mouth, Brad. Damn it.
Such an angry otter.
Yeah, I thought otters were like nice and cute and all that good stuff. Not this one. This one's like otter on rabies or something, man. I don't know.
Otter that has rabies, not on rabies.
Oh, thank you for correcting the host, and we'll see what happens later.
So you're not on top of your rabies. Your rabies control you. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, Dark, we were talking about the whole Sony basically denying crossplay to Fortnite if you between Xbox, Switch, and the PS4. So, man, you came in at the right time. Well, what is your opinion of this? Is this something that because the outcry has been crazy on Twitter? Are you with everybody kind of like getting out there and saying Sony should definitely reverse this policy? Do you think it's gonna have any effect on them like moving into the future, man?
I think it will have a substantial effect on them. I think the whole problem is that like the crossplay, like that right there is like, I know that they don't want to do that, but at least allow people to use their account that they've already used on either the Switch or the Xbox to put it on PlayStation, so then they can utilize the stuff that they've already bought.
And they'll play it on PlayStation more then.
Yeah, then they'll play it on PlayStation more. It just makes sense. It's good business sense to do that. It's just weird that they wouldn't allow, that type of, that type of thing to happen, because I mean, the whole cross-platform thing, the whole cross-play thing, I get that. I get the whole, like, they don't want to make it so that they can play on Xbox and play on PlayStation, and we play against Xbox and PlayStation people, but at least let them use the account, man. I mean, that account, because those accounts can just link together. It's not a big deal.
Delilah is stating that the main beef here is exactly what you're talking about. It's the content, how the content doesn't transfer.
Exactly.
And I think that is most definitely a bonehead move for exactly what you said. Like, if the content does transfer, then people who don't necessarily play that game on their PS4 or whatnot, it'll get them to play it on there more as well, because the stuff that they earned on other platforms will come over, so that character that they're used to, with the gear that they're used to and the emojis that they're used to, will be over.
That's very anti-consumer, man. That's so anti.
Well, see, I mean, because like their thought process, in I don't agree with this thought process. Their thought process is, well, they didn't pay for it on our platform, so they don't get it on our platform.
Right.
You know, that's their thought process. I'm not justifying it, but that's the train of thought that they have going on there. But
that's the wrong train of thought.
Because all it does is alienate people from wanting to play on your platform.
Exactly. So I mean, granted that yes, PlayStation has the more consoles out there and they have the more of a player base, but if people are wanting to play the game on PlayStation, they're not going to now, because of the fact that they're not allowing you to use your account. So you're alienating, like you said, maybe a small minority of people, but it's still, a substantial amount, I think, in terms of, just how many people are playing it on Xbox, so it's crazy that they would even think of doing this, or even not even utilizing it at all. Like it would gain them so much more traction and so much more buzz, because then people would be like, oh, well, I'll just go play it on PlayStation because of the fact that they're allowing me to use my account,
Who's carving a piece of wood in the background?
I don't know. It sounds like, I think it's Mega, dude. Honestly, I thought it was you, Don, for a second, and then I was like, I don't know.
Y'all can hear that? That's my little fan. It's when it taps it goes, it clicks.
It's like one of those old school metal fans that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
is it a rusty fan? It sounds rusty.
No. It's just.
It sounds like it's on its last leg.
Fan.
Man, that's you're getting a foot bubble bath right now.
Yep.
No. That's only.
I was doing a lot of walking. Oh, and before you start to something else, I will say this. I forgot to mention a big shout out to Aaron Greenberg. I got the chance to meet him and the devs at Remedy. That was dope because they were so nice. There was this tall blonde. And she was looking like she about 6 foot, right? And so when I was bringing up about controller and how excited I was, and I talked to them about Quantum Break 2 and stuff, they were geeked, right? So she came and gave me a hug. Like, that was dope, man. That
Hold
was
on,
really
you
cool.
said Quantum Break 2. What are you trying to say here, man?
I just
Are you
said
giving us
something to
some
them
news here?
about it. No. I just said they just gave me a bunch of grins when I said something about Quantum Break 2. Y'all need to work something out with Microsoft. And
Well, they didn't
just
deny it, or they didn't.
right.
We
It
can
was
neither
crazy.
confirm nor
So,
deny.
right. And so they were excited about me getting controller, and Hal was excited about Quantum Break, and they said, "We love Quantum Break. We love doing Quantum Break, and we would love to do Quantum Break again." And then I said, so are you guys telling me that you guys are working on the Quantum Break 2? And then, of course, they just looked at each other, didn't say nothing. And I said, well, I hope you and Microsoft are working on something, because that game is one of the best games for this generation for Xbox as an exclusive. Hope you guys bring it back. And I said that I will scream it out to the heavens if you guys promote the hell out of the game. And then that's when that tall blonde went and she grabbed me, hugged me, and said, "Thank
Oh
you."
wow!
And so it was cool. It was real cool, man. Real cool.
But there's one thing that I think Delilah said in the chat. She said, "What if you sold your PS4? You lose out." Which is absolutely correct. You just that's a good point. If you buy this game or you play this game and
Well,
you get all these
Sony
transactions,
believes that you don't deserve to take your
right?
your stuff with you. Then
you can't
man.
take it with you.
You can't sell your PS4, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like some people, some people need to sell their, electronics. Yeah, it sucks. Sometimes you do because of the fact that you don't have any money, or, you just have to, work some things out. Yeah, eventually you probably
pawn
will
shops
want it
give
back.
you a month to pay them back to get your stuff back. By the way, don't ask me how I know that. But we do have one more subject before we get into these conferences and stuff like that. It's something I really wanna talk on. I think we're gonna focus. Of course, we're gonna focus on the panel, but we're also gonna focus on the Don here because with other podcasts, his name has come up in this conversation. So, Naughty Dog senior artist Rogelio Ogwin. All right.
Yeah.
He joins 343 Industries for Halo Infinite, and now there's a lot of people out there on Twitter just waving that Microsoft flag, waving that Xbox flag right now, saying like, what a great acquisition this is. They're talking about a turn of the tide. There are people going crazy out there. I'm hoping people just kind of calm and like pump their brakes a little bit, because I've taken the stance that, there's a lot of talent out there, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, sometimes the talent doesn't match where they are, and it's just not a good fit. So I'm happy that they're going out there and they're, getting new developers to bring them in. But when I look at, the Halo franchise that I love, and I see what this artist, like the projects he's been in on, to me, the graphic style and everything like that is so much different that I'm kind of taking the backseat on this, and I want to wait and see how everything works out. I'm not out there just championing this whole situation. So, Don, senior artist Rogelio, comes to 343 from Naughty Dog. How big of a deal is this, and how should people react? Should they kind of like calm down a little bit? What do you think, man?
This is what they call in the game business for studios like 343 or a Naughty Dog or anything that works like on Call of Duty. They call this a Tuesday. Like, this is like an everyday occurrence. Like, if he was going to some small independent studio, that's a huge gain for that small independent studio. But if you look at 343, and this is what people don't understand about 343, the top tier talent of the world is there. So
True,
he's just going to work with his peers, people that are on the same level as what he is. And this doesn't diminish his accomplishments. Like, he's a very talented person. I would love to work with this guy on a project. But at the same token, like, if you look at the pedigree of everybody that works at 343, you realize, everyone's got a pretty solid resume that looks very similar to what this guy's accomplishments are. So it's not like a tide turning thing. It's just a position that you need to be fulfilled, and he's a talented artist. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Well, people are saying that Rogelio, he's been with Naughty Dog for like 6 years, and has worked on multiple projects and stuff. Out there in the gaming community, out there on social media, people are like, well, damn, Microsoft just swooped in and offered him a bunch of money. Like, if not, he would have stayed there and everything like that. Now,
I don't think that's true.
I was to say, with you as a developer, is that usually the case there, or was it like he?
I mean, there's a little bit of like strengthening relationships sort of thing with people are talented in the industry, but at the same token, that it's not like they just showed up knocking on his door and then just like, here's the money, how many zeros, where do you want me to put the comma? Like, that's not how the industry works. Because here's the deal, like, because I was joking around with somebody that's a senior staff member at Epic, right? And we're joking around. It's like, because someone say Microsoft's throwing around that money, and like I kind of showed him the tweet, and he goes, that guy is, as he stands right now, he is better off before he even takes that position than I am, and he shuts the door on his Lamborghini. So, like, let's put it in that perspective, right? Like, he is a talented person. He's already gotten paid. He's in a good spot. So, for him to work at 343, there's more to it than the amount of dollars that they're offering him. And this is what people need to understand on the development side of things. It's about location sometimes. Sometimes it's about the key talent you'll be working with. Is it a project you want to work on? These are all factors, right? And how accommodating they allow him to be that. They also got to keep in mind, like, he has to go through the interview process just like anybody else at 343, and he earned his position there. I'm not going to say he hasn't, because I think he really has. But he has to go through not only through HR, but he has to go through the gambit of other artists that work there.
All right,
and see if he's a good fit for the other people on that team.
I got you. Just real quick, I got a real quick question. Why did you decide to almost flood the engine on this truck in your gameplay, dude?
Looking at that.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh my goodness! But go ahead.
but you mean you see what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other factors. Like, money is maybe not even, I would say, little for somebody in his positions, probably maybe even quarter of his decision. Money doesn't trump everything.
All right, now, Don, me and you met on Halo, right? We started playing Halo 5 multiplayer. That's where we started talking, everything like that. Now, this acquisition and the future of Halo with Halo Infinite, what is your kind of like excitement level? Is this are you excited to see this guy come in with this team? Like, what is you as a developer and knowing kind of like the inside aspect of business and stuff like that? Like, what is your excitement level for the next Halo, like before and after this announcement?
And let's shout out to Delia too. Growth is another factor. He's probably tired of working at Naughty Dog IPs, and that could be 100% a factor. And here's the thing: is there's people from 343 to go work at Naughty Dog, and vice versa. Like, these are the like top tier studios that people bounce around from. In regards to that, so I think it's important to shout out Delia on that. But what do you think? What do I think he brings to the table? I looked at his portfolio; it's online and all that sort of stuff. What he has available publicly, and a lot of what he has available publicly, to be totally honest with you, is he's really good at shaders and he's really good at textures. And I saw a couple models he did, and I would say if I was going to judge it from before, I would say he'd be a good fit for working on like flood-like type characters.
Oh, okay.
I can see him being a good fit there because he really does well with like organic stuff.
All right.
Does that make sense? So, I can see him doing that. Do I see him doing Forerunner structures? No. But I could be wrong. Do I see him working on any of like the character designs of the Spartans? I don't see that. But I could be wrong. I don't know what they have planned for him. So That's just me kind of judging from afar. He's just one of many people that works there. And there's super talented artists that work at 343. So
yeah, they are one of my favorite kind of like dev teams out there. And I'm looking forward to the next Halo. I'm hoping it comes out more sooner rather than later. But
yeah. There's some
time.
concerns I have with it, to be honest with you. But I'm just gonna have to wait and see where it goes. So
all right, no doubt. Mega, what do you think about this acquisition? I'm pretty sure you were pretty busy this past weekend, and then coming home and getting used to being back home and everything like that. But I'm pretty sure you didn't completely ignore Twitter. So
I almost did. I almost did.
That's actually a good thing, man. People got to step away every once in a while.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
shut down, man. I was like, I'm not trying to hear any of that bullshit. But I did hear about this, and it was to me, when you first hear it, it's shocking because I would say everybody, but a lot of people make out Naughty Dog to be the best developer that's out right now, the best development team that's out. But one thing that we also have to remember is that a lot of that original team has started to fade away ever since the lady that went from that left and went to do the work of Star Wars and stuff like that. So I think she was the writer, and so
Amy Hennig.
Yeah. So there was a lot of you know what I'm saying. So there were already people that were already leaving. And, of course, they were saying that Microsoft was bringing out the checkbook and things like that. And another thing that could be a big factor, too, is something that could be related to what Delilah was saying, is that it's that freedom of wanting to do something with the game that maybe it's going to be completely different than what we expecting Halo to be. And that can go a long way if you're giving somebody a lot of freedom, because that's been the biggest talking point for the last couple of months, or if not the last year or so, talking about Xbox is not giving these developers that artistic freedom. Mm-hmm. And so I think that a lot of people are starting to eat crow on that now, especially after acquiring Ninja Theory and what they said in their video. So I think that there's just a changing of the guard of just wanting to have these developers come in and just wanted to do something different. I mean, it's no different than when Bungie, they left and they wanted to do something different, and they have Destiny and everything else. So I agree, it's not that big of a deal, but it's I think it's great for 343, and I have a lot of faith in 343, and I will continue to have faith in 343 because I've loved every Halo that's came out from when Bungie's done it and from when 343 is taking over. So I think the sky's the limit, and I am totally against you on this one, but I say take your sweet time with this coming up here. Take your time. Take your time.
But
there's bring out other content.
No matter how long it takes, you know Locke's not going to be in it, right?
I would say in the game engine demo, like
my heart's broke.
There was no Locke, man. What's going on with that, dude?
Well, no, you know what? And like I said, I got to talk to Aaron Greenberg just briefly, and you know what I'm saying. I was going to try to catch him again on the flip side, but I was too busy wanting to get back to that Battlefield 5. So I was like, if I get a chance to try to talk to somebody, maybe on the DMs or something like that, I'll definitely ask, hey, let me know about what's going on with Team Locke, Team Osiris. You know what I'm saying? Because we need that in our lives, man. We need that. I don't think that they're dead, long gone, but I think that the focus is going to be mostly on Chief. And I'm really actually can't wait to see what this new engine looks like. This what is it? Split screen, space screen. Yeah. I can't wait to see what that's going to actually look like with after us seeing Gears and how that looks. My God. So, yeah.
All right. Well, check this out. Predator, I want to know what you think about this, and I am going to put it out there. Guys, do you remember a while back there were a lot of people talking about 343 because there was a lot of people. There was quite a few people that left that dev team, and I'm going to put it in there that this is another acquisition. It's kind of like filling seats that were empty within the development team at 343, and I just want them to come out with the highest quality product that they can. It's something that they have done, at least twice in my opinion. Now, Halo 4 to me was awesome on the story side of things. Halo 5 completely locked it down for me on the multiplayer side of things. So I see everything coming together for Halo 6 to be something truly epic. Or Halo Infinite now. I can't use the number anymore. But Predator, what do you think about this acquisition? What does it mean to you as an Xbox gamer, man?
I mean, I don't really know the guy, like what he's done. I really don't pay attention to what devs do for the most part, unless it's like Dawn or something. But like, I mean, any acquisition from Naughty Dog with their pedigree is a good, a good fit for whatever we're doing on the Xbox side. It's like Don said, man, it happens pretty frequently when these guys finish a project, or they get fed up and move on to something else and to another company. I mean, like they're contracted out to some degree, aren't they?
So there's like their contract to fulfill, and then they have like options to renew sometimes, and and then they can negotiate their pay sometimes at that point, and there's all sorts of different stuff. But sometimes you get to a certain level, it's
Let me throw a wrinkle in this. All right, so who's been in the news lately for like negative shit happening within that company?
What's that?
Who's been in the news like with negative shit happening, like like
from a studio level?
Yeah.
Naughty Dog has had a lot of rumors and speculations.
Yeah, so like maybe that just isn't a place people want to work for. I mean, like they make great games, they produce a lot of good shit.
There might be a stigma right now.
Though. Yeah, there might be a stigma there, and I'm not saying like it's not like the floodgates haven't opened. I mean, this guy just wanted to find a better job and want to move. There might be other reasons why he came to the Xbox side.
Well, that's the right mindset though. Like, there's other things, right?
Yeah,
like
there's other factors.
Like think about it. Like if you're in that position, yes, you would want to be paid more money, but like the question is, you want to know the team you're working with. You don't want to work with a bunch of assholes. Like who would do that, right? Like,
and that's exactly what I'm getting at. Like there might have been something going on there. Maybe there's a better job. Maybe he's got a girlfriend. Like there's other factors in there why this guy moved too. Don't just think because he's coming from one studio to the other that it's because he just wants to work with Halo. And maybe he does. I mean, like it could be part of it too. But like,
he was gushing over being able to work on the next Halo project. Like,
yeah, it might have been a dream of his. Like it might have been like, I can't wait. He didn't have the opportunity.
I finally made it.
His resume. Yeah, he built up his resume with Naughty Dog. He's like, okay, finally, I get it. Like he's probably dropped like 10 resumes over there before to work on games.
But Halo is not relevant. You know what I'm saying, for what some people say. And also another thing. This might not be Halo 6. This could maybe Microsoft.
This is Halo 6.
This is Halo 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think they said that earlier. They're getting.
They confirmed this is the continuation of what happened after Halo 5.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
And I'll say this too. Like you said, this happens quite frequently with developers. They bounce around a little bit too. Look at it this way: like, if you have an opportunity to work for a company that you want to work for and work on a game you want to work on, and you go to that company, and I said this last night on Crossfire, like if you're a good developer, you're a good boss or whatever, and you have people who've worked with you, and you go over and you start working for another company, and you're like, man, it's fucking awesome over here. I think like that drags in those other people, like
Yes, that is another key thing, and I think you hit on that, because a lot of times people are like, well, what's going on to this studio or this studio? Why is Phil acting like this? He's trying to build those relationships, even on an individual level with developers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to reach out when he says that, like, when they're talking to customers like you guys. You can definitely tell when he's talking to you, but there's sometimes where you're like, why would he say it like that? Well, it's because you're not the only customer he's trying to, obtain, right? He's trying to obtain talent as well. So like that is very much a big part of it. I mean, I'll say like sometime in my career, I would love the opportunity to work at 343. Well, I want to work there for like 4 Halo projects. No, I want to work on one, and I want to move on, and not because I don't appreciate the offer of and don't like the team or anything like that. It's just there's some other ambitions that have been put in place, and I want to see those things through. But at the same token, like, it would be an honor to work on that series because it is a destination like type series.
And one more part too before you move on to, I think Dark hasn't gone yet, but like obviously Microsoft is looking to acquire studios and developers. So like yeah, you want to be the first motherfucker over there because you want a job. You get done with this project that you're working on, you've been working on the last couple of years, and you see that Microsoft is hiring. Yeah, I mean, like you should. I would expect to see a lot of people come, especially with the Initiative Studio kicking off too. It's supposed to be like a quadruple A studio. You're going to see a lot of advertisements for jobs and a lot of developers trying to come over to that studio as well. Not just 343. Like it's obvious Microsoft is trying to beef up its studios. What better way to do that by hiring the best developers you possibly can get?
Yeah.
Have you guys? The requirements at the Initiative are insane. They're actually higher than most like requirements that you see like from 343 or something like that, and their requirements are quite lofty as well. So, take that for what it's worth.
It's a quadruple A game, man. Come on.
Well,
that's crazy.
Put this way, I can apply at 343. I really couldn't even apply at the Initiative.
Wow.
To put in perspective, so like they're going after that one is deliberately going after like core talent. If you ask like if somebody like went there with a lot of money with no proven IP, no franchise that they know what to work on, yeah, then maybe that whole statement of hey they went for the money is possibly true. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because there's no established like staff there yet, well as far as we know.
All right. I got you.
And it seems like they're hiring like named people. Like they got Gallagher, they got this guy from Naughty Dog. I mean, like, is it? I mean, again, I'm not in the developer world. Like Don, you'll have to tell us about
Rogelio.
This.
His name is
the people
Rogelio.
They're picking up are like they're like well known, or are they just some people with a good resume? Obviously Gallagher, but
they're all well known. But I mean, the thing is, this happens back and forth all the time, right? Like there was a lead programmer on the Halo engine for Halo 4, one of the people that was responsible for making it look so good on 360. She went to go work for Naughty Dog, right? This happens. It's no big deal. I mean, she's super talented. Did they find someone to replace her? Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of talent out there.
When Halo 4 dropped, people could not believe that game was running on the 360.
Exactly, and then that's my thing is like these super talented people go from top tier talented studios all the time because they want those opportunities and they have the skills to back it up that they can go to these places. But if you think of a 343 talent going to Naughty Dog, all of a sudden like people are like, oh, Xbox is done, or this is like, it's none of that. Like even with like does this put a little bit of a hitch probably for Naughty Dog? Probably. Are they going to be able to find somebody talented? Yes. Probably just as talented. Probably pretty close, or maybe even more, or maybe a little less. Like but it's going to be in the ballpark, and they'll work it out. Really, it's in the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal.
Nice, man. And this is one of the reasons why I am so happy. Like this panel has come together, because if you look out there, like I said, there are people going absolutely like nuts over this information, but. I feel like, next podcast, the panel, we like to give the information. We like to give a grounded perspective on what's going on. So with that being said, let's blow everything I said completely apart, and let's ask the Angry Otter himself. Dude, what do you think about this acquisition?
It's a hire. It's not an acquisition.
It's a hire. How many times did I get you mad?
Person.
How many times did I get you mad saying that? Yeah.
For an hour.
Oh no! This hire. Dark Optimus, what do you think, man?
Oh my God, I don't care.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No. You know what? This is awesome, man. I think this guy, he came from Naughty Dog. He has a great resume, and through 343 saw that, and they were like, hey, let's hire this dude, because he was probably already trying to get in there for a while, and then they saw his resume, and they're like, wow, okay, let's get him in here and do some good work for us, and when people are going crazy on Twitter about this kind of stuff, I'm just like, man, you guys need to just chill out, man. like this stuff is not. It's not
outside.
Right, exactly. Go outside, take a breather, get away from the computer for a while, because this type of stuff is like, this happens all the time. This happens even in the film industry, this happens in, you know, in anything in entertainment. Like this stuff happens all the time,
Great point.
where somebody's moving from one studio to the next studio. It's just this is just how it works in the entertainment industry. Like, and to say that, oh, he's leaving Naughty Dog, now Naughty Dog's probably not going to be talented anymore. That's not the case anymore. That's not the case.
That's such a stupid statement.
That is an absolute retarded statement. But I think him moving over to 343 is awesome. I think it's not like they absolutely needed it anyways, but they're getting somebody there that is very talented, and that's what you want to see, man. You want to see every company get somebody who's talented. You don't want to, and sometimes they don't get somebody.
All right, Dark, check this out. I know I get ragged on for saying Mega Man at least 4 times per show, but you just said C-Man.
Did I say C-Man?
You can't take it back.
Say C-Man. It did.
You can't take it back.
All right, guys, this is the E3 wrap-up show, so we have to get into E3, and we're gonna go by conferences. We ended this last topic with Dark, so we're gonna start this one with Dark. Dark, Microsoft Xbox E3 conference, man. Let me know what you thought of it. Give me the good, give me the bad, according to the Otter himself, man.
Okay, well, what do you want first? Do you want the good or do you want the bad?
What do you think you should say first?
I don't know.
Well, I caused a little bit of a stir with a couple videos I dropped yesterday.
You did. I saw that. I was afraid to like it because I thought I was going to get backlash.
Yeah. Right. Well, I started off with what Xbox did wrong at E3, and all of a sudden people were like, they didn't do anything wrong. It was heaven. I'm like, no, like you. I don't see anything perfect in this world. You can always. No. I call it constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can always kind of like aim to do better, in my opinion.
I think I'm going to start out with the bad. Let's go with the bad first. The bad, I think the one of the biggest things is that they didn't really show us any exclusives that were that we already didn't know were coming. And I understand why they did that, and because they have. They just acquired a couple new studios. They probably have, some other games that are in the works, but they're not ready to show. I get that, but they could have at least, teased us like what Nintendo did with the Super Smash Bros. and Bayonetta 3, and then
possibly
the Metroid
with a
Prime
title
4.
name.
With a title name, just something like that. I mean, that's what they did with Battletoads. So it was like, they could have done that with some of their other games. Even Bethesda did it, with some of their games. Just give us a little, more of a title, that would have been fine. I think a lot of people would have been happy with that. They would have been like, okay, that's awesome. But they didn't do that, so, that's kind of a bad thing that they did. The whole Game Pass stuff, like, they didn't really need that at the show. That was just like, I don't know why they're talking about this at that point. I was like, okay, yeah, we get it. It's Game Pass. This is a huge thing for you guys.
See,
but
I think they needed to say that. They needed to show that they are truly invested in Game Pass and third party as well, man.
But they could have done that somewhere else,
inside Xbox.
Yeah, they could have done that there. Like it would have been probably a better thing for them to do it there. But it's fine. But now on to the good stuff.
So he's got two bad.
I didn't have very many bad things. I thought it was a fantastic show. The really good stuff was just all the games, man. All the games they showed. Sekiro, freaking Sessions, Cyberpunk 2077, freaking Gears 5. They showed Halo right in the beginning. It was like they showed Halo right in the beginning, and we were all like, oh, okay, so we're probably not going to see a Gears 5. We're probably not going to, we'll probably see Forza, which is, understandable because Forza Horizon comes out every 2 years or whatever. So we did see Forza Horizon 4, and then we see Gears 5, and it was like, whoa, we weren't expecting that. I know a lot of people have qualms with Gears 5 because of the fact that it's a female protagonist this time around instead of
Really?
yeah.
Really?
There's a lot of people I see on YouTube who are having qualms with
Send
it
that
being a
shit
female.
to Hades,
Oh,
man.
I
hell
know,
Get
man.
the
It's
no.
fuck out of
stupid.
here, man.
It's stupid. We live in 2018, people. Like this is
Yo,
what
that
we
girl
do
in
now.
Gears 4 tore it up. She is
She does,
bad
man.
ass, man.
She
She's a
is.
beast.
Kate is a freaking badass chick, you know, and she knows, you know,
She made me buy
she's
her
something
pop
there.
out
Yeah, I
there
mean,
because she was so dope, man, in the game. So,
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of people
trailer.
who have a kind of a problem with that, and it's usually just people who are either sexist or just don't like playing as a female. A lot of times, it's just people who don't like playing as a female.
Well, and we know
But
you don't have a problem with that because we did see
no,
your skate gameplay
no, I
in
don't.
which you were a woman.
And
No,
my Destiny
it was
gameplay
a
where I
gentleman with
play as a
skinny
woman.
jeans.
In my Destiny gameplay, I play as a female as well. So, I have no qualms with playing as a female. I think, it's just awesome to see a chicken or a woman in a
Yeah, chicken.
role where.
He said chicken.
Shut up, Fred.
He was supposed to say dog
See-
shit
He said
earlier.
seaman. He
Seeing
said
a
chicken.
female in a role where she's a badass, that's awesome. Like you want to see that kind of stuff because there are women out there that are badasses, women that could probably kick my ass. There are women that are just absolutely
I live with
phenomenal.
one that can kick your ass, man.
Well, yeah, I'm sure she can. Man.
Dude,
Yeah,
her
she
roundhouse
gets-
kick is amazing.
Woo. But I think Microsoft just had a great show, man. Like they pulled out all the stops. They reassured us that hey, we're gonna focus on these first party games. We don't have anything to show you right now, but we are focusing on it. It is something that we're gonna do. This is why we acquired these 5 studios, which were the Initiative, Ninja Theory, the Compulsion,
And Undead Labs.
Undead Labs,
Uh-huh.
and Playground Games. And then it was like, wow, dude, just seeing that alone, like that was an amazing moment because you see, like they announced like the 3 in the beginning, like the Initiative, Playground, and Undead Labs, and then they throw out that bomb right there at the 4th one with Ninja Theory, and it was like, holy
Dude,
crap.
you heard me. I went nuts on the live reaction.
It was crazy, man, to see that, and it was like, I don't know, a lot of people were like upset and angry about it, but you got to realize, like, Ninja Theory has been an independent developer for a long time. They were on the brink of closing down
Dude,
so
a
many
lot of
times.
developers are always.
I know, I know, I know that. No, I understand that. No, I mean, I get that, but for them to kind of get out of that, like that type of,
You
having
can tell
to,
the developers, they're breathing a sigh of relief now. They have the freedom to build. They have
they
money
even
to back
said
it up.
They even said it in their video. Like,
Yeah.
if you haven't watched the video, go watch the video of Ninja Theory
Right.
explaining why
It's
they
on
took.
YouTube, Ninja Theory channel.
It's on their channel, on Ninja Theory. They really said that, like, we're upset that we have to, that we're going to be making more for the Xbox console. Like, we're going to be focusing there, but we're promising to our fans that we will make these games the best to our ability, and it's awesome to see that they're
Unique experiences and all
Yeah.
that good stuff, man.
they're doing something. I think their next game will probably be something along the lines of something kind of like Heavenly Sword in a way. I'm not too sure on that. Don't quote me on that. That's
Like a
not
spiritual
official.
successor. That's what I'm actually
Something like
predicting
a
there.
spiritual successor. I kind of feel that it will be something like that. Along those lines, it won't be the same game because they won't do Heavenly Sword 2 because Sony owns that IP, but
Yeah.
it'll be something along those lines. But yeah, that was a huge moment right there, was with Ninja Theory. And then, of course, you and me, we love skate games, so we saw Sessions, and that was like
that's a launch exclusive
crap,
too.
Yeah,
man.
Launch exclusive. It's gonna go to game preview first, and then it'll launch next year. But it'll be in game preview in the beginning, and then it'll go to launch next year, which I don't think it'll probably launch next year. It'll probably launch like 2 years from now or something like that. That's just how games and game preview work. They say, oh yeah,
if only we knew a developer that we could like complain about that stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
I can't fix that.
I think you can.
You have to talk to Chris Charles about all that sort of stuff, I think, as far as I understand. Actually, I don't know who's part of the preview program, who's in charge of that.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that was awesome to see, like a kind of a skate successor kind of come out and reassure us that we're going to get something along those lines. Yes, I know it's going to be different because the left stick is going to be the front foot, and the right stick is going to be the back foot. So I mean, yeah, that's going to be weird how that works, but yeah, dude, man, they
skate was weird when we first got in there too, man. So
that is true. So you'll get used to it. You'll play it. You'll get used to it. Halo Infinite, they showed that off. That was awesome. I was excited for it. I saw it. I was like, I don't know what this is. And then I see Halo, and I was just like, you heard me. I was like, oh! And you guys were like, shut up, Dark, damn it.
I think me and the Don, between each other, we probably watched that engine demonstration like 55 times or something, man. Like
they just it blew me away, man. I was like, is this Halo? Like, I was like, I don't think this is Halo. And then this is Halo. Like, they were like, this is Halo, and I was like, okay, man. I'm down.
I'm a little sketchy on the armor design, to be really honest with you.
Yeah, you and I will talk about that one.
But yeah, man. I mean, there's not I can't take anything away from Xbox or their conference that I was like super upset about. It was just they just showed so much.
Predator.
Yeah, granted, they were all third-party games, and they're all. We need to wrap it up, button. Thanks, Brett. I think they showed off a lot of stuff. I'm gonna wrap it up here right now. They showed off a lot of stuff. They, granted, a lot of them were third-party stuff, but I don't care. It was still games, man. Games. So awesome. Kudos to them.
All right, awesome. That was the Dark Optimus. I think that is the longest he has talked on this entire show.
It was, and it was horrible.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. Oh man, thanks.
Let's see if we can.
That wasn't too bad. It was kind of like a monologue.
Yeah.
No,
Dark, I thought you did great. I am the host, and that's all that matters, man. All right.
That was good.
But Predator, let me know, good, bad, Microsoft, Xbox conference, man. What do you got for us and everybody in the chat? Yeah.
I'll keep this short and sweet for the sake of the fans. Let me ramble on for 15, 20 minutes. Good. Obviously, the new studios. They showed a lot of games. They came out and basically laid the foundation down for the future for the gamers out there that have been harping on a roadmap or something that's kind of giving us a little bit of what's going on down the road. I didn't like. I'll go to the negative because there's a lot of positives. I'm not going to harp on everything that Dark just said. I think he was spot on what he said. So for me, the negative.
So he did good then, is what you're saying?
Yeah, he did good. It was he's a little long, but whatever.
I hate all of you.
I think the biggest thing my biggest thing was the fact that they got the studios. I think we kind of thought like 3, because I think that's what the rumor was like months back. They're gonna look and try and buy 3 studios, but the fact that they got 5, including Ninja Theory, I think that was the biggest surprise for everybody out there. They got Ninja Theory.
Do you think Ninja Theory out of all those was which one do you think was the biggest acquisition, man? And I used acquisition right in that term, by the way.
Yeah, you did. The biggest one, I honestly think it was Playground Games, just because I know they're really talented studio. What I've seen with what they've done with Forza, and for them to be able to branch out and do something outside of that, and they've announced that they're doing 2 games, basically 2 not Forza open world games. So we already know we have 2 games coming down the pipe from those guys. Um, so that's big, because especially with their talent level, and people think, oh, they can only make these racing games. I'm like, I'm sure those guys can pretty much do other stuff too. They just haven't been given the opportunity.
No, they went to school strictly for development
just to make
of racing
Forza,
games.
Right?
That was it.
But there's some that do that. you make fun, but there are some people that actually do.
But again, we're not losing Forza.
No.
We're still getting it. So we're getting that and other games too. So from that studio, so they're going to make at least 3 games. We're going to get another Forza Horizon, and we're going to get 2 other open world games down the road. So I think that's the biggest acquisition, because I really don't know, outside of Hellblade, what Ninja Theory can do with
Devil May Cry reboot, Heavenly Sword, Kung Fu Chaos,
the Odyssey.
Odyssey
Enslaved.
Dude with the he called himself Monkey. I can't really actually think of the whole
that was
name
such a good game.
That was a great game. Great game.
I'm talking about like now, not like stuff they did in the past. Like something they can do now. They have money in their pocket and they have assets given.
True,
to them.
yeah.
Well, just look what they did with Hellblade without having money, man. Like that is, like, man, to me, that is the scariest. That's the scariest team to me when it comes to like who gives, not to say scariest, but the team that can do the most with little.
And the fact that they're allowed to do whatever, like
right,
they're going to let them do what they want.
Hellblade was so amazing.
So I thought Ninja Theory was like, if I had to pick, I would say
Enslaved. Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, that's what it was. Playground Games 1, Ninja Theory 2. I'm really not sure about Compulsion Games. I don't know what all they've done, and I still want to see what the game they have now, what it's going to come out to be. We Happy Few, because when I tried to play it, I was like not impressed with it. So I mean, I think Playground's the biggest one. For the negatives, like the lack of gameplay, and for me, like, and this goes through the whole conference. It was not just Microsoft, but when I say this statement, it just kind of goes through most of the conferences. Like with Microsoft specifically, like I wanted more gameplay. It's like what they missed, what was missing is what bothered me. Like we didn't see Crackdown gameplay, we didn't see these games that we've been hearing rumored to come out, and maybe this wasn't the stage for. I know they said they have those stuff in the works too, but like I thought that like a big misstep with all the shit that went down with Crackdown 3, for them to not show gameplay of Crackdown was a huge mistake. Not saying it's going to affect the game or anything like that.
They showed gameplay, but they didn't show the multiplayer.
Yeah,
right.
Specifically
they showed gameplay. Yeah.
And they didn't elaborate on it even after the conference was done. Like, you like Megan, you were there. You get to go out and play some of these games. Like, I don't know if that was playable there or not, but it should have been if it wasn't. And it wasn't talked about. Like, no one remembers Crackdown 3. I think it's been like a joke for like the last 2 years. But like even after this E3, like we're not talking about Crackdown 3. I thought the release dates of some of these games, again, overall conference stuff, was kind of like, like the February release date for like 3 or 4 of these games.
February 22nd for 4 games. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure, 100% sure Crackdown was a February 22nd. There's one of the 4 that wasn't a date, but still, like that, three of those games, February 22nd, that's a lot to ask for from a consumer, even though I think 1 or 2 of those are going to be in Game Pass for Xbox. But that's a lot, man, like especially coming off the holiday and all the money we're going to spend on that shit. But a lot of people moved out of the way. We didn't see, again, I'm kind of going big picture here, we didn't see Red Dead, but we're sticking with just a Microsoft conference. I thought the fact that they didn't show a lot of gameplay for some of these games bothered me, because I really wanted to see gameplay of some of these games, and some of the games that we were talking about, rumored, Fable, Perfect Dark, didn't show up. I wanted to see those, because I think we were just like, as fans, we really wanted to see, or at least hear about it. And if it was just a teaser, like Dark was saying before, tease us with something. I love the Gears stuff they did. I think, we said this last night, I would have loved for them to just troll the fuck out of us and just put Gears Pop and Gears, the other little XCOM looker Gears out there, and then not say shit about Gears 5 until the very end. That would have really just fucked with our minds for like half the fucking show.
You are a troll at heart, man.
I am. That would have really fucked with us. If they showed that, like the second game they showed would have been Gears Pop and the XCOM style game they put out there and didn't say shit the rest of the show, and then have them come back out at the end and just have like that little trailer of Gears 5. That would have been like ultimate. It's like you build it up, you tear it down, you build it back up again. But I think overall,
they would have gotten hammered for that, man.
No, they would have been. People would have been pissed about it in the beginning, but if they would have ended like that, they'd have been like, "Oh, and we get Gears 5. Thank you." You'd have been happy at the end. You'd have left happy, right? Don't act like you wouldn't have been. But for me, I think they had the best conference out of everybody. I gave them a B+ grade on it, but like I said, my negatives were the fact we didn't see a lot of gameplay, and there's a lot of stuff that we really wanted to see was not there, like Fable, Perfect Dark. I really wanted to see Splinter Cell on their stage, but we'll get to Ubisoft later. And that's about it, man.
We're just talking Xbox and Sony.
Yeah. So,
but
that's it.
Awesome. I think somebody was calling for a wrap it up button in the chat, by the way.
That was you, by the way.
Oh yeah, they show your icon right by that wasn't me.
Who's clinking their mason jars in the background?
I think it's Mega.
K-Mega making moonshine
down, buddy.
That's my fan, man. I'm sitting here. I got it on full charge.
He's doing his best. He's doing his best P. Diddy impression with 2 Coke bottles.
No, that's my ceiling fan. You know, like when you
that's the fan that blows over your radiator and like a Chevy truck hanging from
the ceiling. He's over there making sun tea, man.
Yeah, he is.
I am. I'm out here in my backyard, sitting here on my porch.
All right, well, Mega, get a little closer to the microphone because you are up next, my brother. You were actually at the Xbox conference, so let me know what because you saw it like firsthand. What was the good and what was the bad in your opinion, man? How was the conference?
Well, first off, I appreciate you letting me go after these 2 bums that sit here and
oh wow.
Let me just
country ass.
Anyway,
I like how you the bums.
So no, check it out though. So
bum.
God dang mercy.
Just let the man finish.
Yeah, please. Okay, so overall, let me just say this: the experience of this was something that Delilah said to me, and I took it with a grain of salt until I was actually there. And I'm saying this to anybody and everybody that's a gamer. To experience a show live is the utmost high. Like it is no joke, and especially in that place, the sound effects, there was a point, and I had it recorded, so I'm going to show that, where when they were showing Forza Horizon 4, and they were going through the seasons, and when they started showing fall, they had leaves fall from the ceiling. When it turned to winter, it got cold in the building. It was stupid how they did it. Like I was like, if it rains in here, I'm not gonna put on my camera. I don't know what the hell they doing here in Microsoft. But it was really cool what they did, man. And so like the atmosphere was electric. And I was sitting by the journalists. So because I felt like, it was crazy because I had my camera sitting there, and so nobody didn't mess with me. But when they saw, but the high point is when they saw Kingdom Hearts 3. And Devil May Cry 5, and when they showed the studios. The studios, I have not, I don't know any journalists or anything like that, but there were journalists that were screaming, "Go Microsoft! Hell yeah!" It was really cool. Like when they I think to me probably the biggest moment was the acquisitions, especially of Ninja Theory. And to me, I know that we already knew about the Initiative and Playground, but I say getting Undead Labs was really huge because we know that budget wasn't a really big budget for State of Decay 2. The game is improved in every facet than the first previous game, but now that they have the financial backing, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with State of Decay 3, and for whatever they can do if they want to do anything else extra, because that to me is going to be really crazy. Seeing all the multiplats, like it was really cool to see Just Cause 4, we've seen Metro, Ori, man. Ori in person looks so beautiful, and then seeing it on the stage, I was happy that I was seeing they were showing some more support for Cuphead. I need to go ahead and beat that game, that hard ass damn game. I was when I first seen Shadows Die Twice or Sianko, Let Me Be Country. I don't know how you say that. Sekiro. I thought it was Tenchu. I was about to get up and say, hell,
Well, it's
fuck no.
definitely Tenchu because it's the successor.
Right. I was like, is this Tenchu? And I didn't know if it was going to be an exclusive or not. But then come to find out that it's not going to be a full exclusive or whatever. But like, that was cool. And I thought that the Game Pass thing was necessary because, I mean, there's people out here that's not in the know about this stuff, and they may not be in social media like we are, and so when but they like to watch E3. So talking about Game Pass was a really cool thing because you'd be surprised. There were people out there that didn't know who Aaron Greenberg was, or a whole bunch of other people. So it was pretty cool.
What in the
really?
world?
Really?
Really? Oh man,
really?
That's great.
Really?
What was that?
Great. I was even half of my time, asshole. Anyway,
that wasn't me though. I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's okay. It's probably Prez. That's why you're going to lose today.
That's why he doesn't get the votes.
That's right. But no, I will say that probably the most disappointing thing of the show was the lack of showing the multiplayer for Crackdown 3. And on the stage, they didn't have it out there and they had it playable. You know what I'm saying? So, that gave some people some red flags to saying, well, why this game isn't playable? But they did show gameplay. You know what I'm saying? The game, you could tell, looks a lot better than what it was showing last year. And I think that they want to polish it up. I will say, a Cyberpunk 2077, golly, man.
Yes.
There was no gameplay, man.
It didn't have to. It didn't have to. Like what they're going to do. You know how CG Project Red is going to do it, especially what they did with The Witcher. Right, like now it's like on another level, like all the 80s sci-fi movies all into one. Like and it's like you're going to be this person. Now the only thing that I have a reserve for is this hearing of that it's first person and not third
it's like
person.
Deus Ex. Like the game is very much like Deus Ex.
Okay,
I'll take it.
In the kind of the realms of like gameplay, how you hack, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I guess that's the closest thing to it, I should say.
Right.
I am a fan of Deus Ex as well, and I've been waiting for CD Projekt Red because everybody's been talking about The Witcher. I do have The Witcher. Shout out to G4G Media because they're the ones, they got that game for me for my birthday. It's been hard to dive into it. The graphics and everything are fantastic. The cyberpunk, like that world, that environment, that's where I'm gonna get hooked right there.
Yeah, and see, the one thing that I have to disagree with Fred and a lot of people out there that was saying, well, we didn't hear anything about Fable. Phil hinted it 3 times.
A hint is a hint, but they could have put the name up on the screen.
because they're still staying with what I liked is that the show was awesome and everybody enjoyed the show, but they still kept to what they want to do. They don't want to bring out anything too early. And so they touched on things, but they hinted like that game is coming. And I wanted to see what Battletoads look like, but but I was happy to see that. But we know Fable is coming. That Phil announced, like he hinted to it 3 times. Because if you have been in the know, like we have been, we know that the game is coming. Now we didn't hear anything about Perfect Dark, so that means probably Perfect Dark is a long ways off. So, seeing that Dying Light 2, I've never played the first Dying Light, so I'm missing out on something because that gameplay looked fire. I thought that was really great. So overall, like for me, the show was a 9 out of 10.
The hell, Predator turned into a chicken.
Yeah, so he was over there. It was tripping me out. Like I was looking at that. Yeah, he got his glasses too. So, but yeah, no, it was really cool. So I think the show was definitely the best show of all the shows, and you know what I'm saying. And Xbox proved to show that they showed a lot of commitment. Also, Jump Force, that was huge to show on a stage, and to show that they were bringing back Tales of Vesperia, the original title, for fans like me who likes those JRPGs. That was dope. They showed commitment to a lot of different genres of games, man. I loved it.
Nice,
Loved
nice, man. We got to hear what the Don has to say, and I guess we're going to get into a discussion about the Spartan armor as he's going to go in and talk about the good and the bad that he saw from Xbox's conference. So go ahead, Don, take it away, man.
Hey, man. I mean, I honestly think the show fell flat for me. It doesn't mean it wasn't a good show, but it was all stuff I expected.
You better check your Twitter right now, man. People.
but I expected.
I'm sending this podcast a thumbs down right now.
No, hear me out. I expected studio acquisitions. Like, that wasn't a surprise to me. I mean, obviously, Ninja Theory was a surprise to me, and I think that was for everybody. But I expected not necessarily announcing new hardware, but I knew they were working on new hardware. I knew streaming wasn't going to replace hardware. That's reconfirming there, and then there's multiple interviews establishing that as well from Xbox, but doesn't mean they're not going to do streaming. Like, a lot of these things they touched on are like things I've all expected. The thing in the franchises that I'm most excited about, like Gears or some of my favorite franchises, in Halo, I left with questions in just a little bit of concerns.
With Gears too?
With Gears too. And with Gears, it's the whole open world sections they talked about. And I'm like, I don't want that in Gears. I really don't. I don't really feel like that will push the series forward, but they'll have to show me. I mean, maybe they'll show me something different that will change my mind. But that's what kind of disappointed me a little bit on the Gears side of things. I like the fact they're going with Kate, because that's kind of like how Gears is. Gears 1 was about Marcus. Gears 2 was about Dom, right? So, like, and his wife and all that sort of stuff. And Gears 3 was just like the world's going to end. So, like, if they do a similar format with these new Gears, I'm okay with that portion of it. But, like, the whole open world aspect that came up, that makes me question everything. And then with Halo, the thing that makes me question is the old art style of Master Chief. Going back to the old armor, I'm not down with that. Like, Halo's always had, like, Master Chief has always been like the center point where, like, as technology moves on, he gets new armor, but it progresses, it goes forward, not usually backwards, and then makes me.
Yo, K-Man, did you turn your fan higher? Or something, man. We are hearing that thing like crazy.
My bad.
Yeah, that thing, it sounded like there was an earthquake in Oklahoma, man.
I know. I was like, dang, you guys.
Those mason jars are going crazy. I'm telling you.
Oh, my bad. See,
yeah,
that's a California thing.
Put moonshine on a stable table there, buddy. Like.
No, it's just my ceiling fan, man. It's just rattling. Okay, I'll turn it down.
But anyways, I'm gonna send you a screwdriver, man. You gotta fix that, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna fall on your head one day.
Yeah,
he's jacking off with his keys in his hand.
Oh, why do you have to do that during my section?
Just thinking about that jump force. Oh man, that Gears 5.
Woo. And then, like, you had the whole Master Chief thing with going backwards. I'm not down with that.
Yeah, man. I gotta say, like, I like the progression. Halo 4, when they came out with Master Chief and how that armor looked and everything, man, I'm like, yeah, they're moving forward here. And then, Halo 5, it was pretty much the same armor, cracked visor through, the fight with Locke and everything like that. But I like that style. And yeah, I guess you could say I'm concerned. I'm not really concerned because they've done that franchise justice all the way through it. Like when it was Bungie,
it's a catch-22 because they don't want to lose Spartan abilities too. Like that makes me question if that's going to happen.
Exactly,
or not. Like those core gameplay elements. Like I'm going back playing Master Chief Collection with Mega, and man, it is so hard not having Spartan abilities anymore. Like
you're right.
It's a struggle to kind of get through the older games and some of my favorite games, and I'll be honest, some of my favorite games from Halo are 343 games. They're not Bungie games.
Right.
Both Halo 4 and Halo 5 rank up higher than any of the Bungie games for me in my personal experience.
Well, but hold on. Let me say this, Don. This could be the reason right here, because you know what I'm saying, Agent Locke, hashtag save Locke, crack that motherfucking helmet. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And he might have to get back. He might have to take that helmet off and put on the old school because Locke busted that ass. Let's go!
Oh, my
Locke
How
God.
did we get on Halo? Can we get back
Mega.
to
all I know is-
Xbox
Get
Carnage?
over it,
You know how
Mega.
hell
Locke
to
is
play Mega, you know
dead.
what I'm saying?
Locke
Hey,
is
I don't know
dead.
what's going on there, but it looks like Master Chief is skipping his leg days. That's all I got to say. Like, he looks like thin, skinny, and like the old.
It's Skinny
Halo.
Jean Master Chief, man.
It's straight
a
up skinny
tech
Jean Master
demo.
Chief.
I mean, like, no telling what it's going to turn out like.
Yeah, like I don't
That
know.
was just a tech demo, so I think it's definitely going to look like.
It could change. Well, they said they're going back to some of the older influences from Halo. To like, here's the thing: if I have, and that's why I said like they have to show me more before I can say like, hey, either I'm totally disinterested or
Yeah,
or I
but
like where
it's
they're
something
going.
that puts up kind of like, I guess you could say a yellow light, kind of like a caution.
Exactly.
Flag
And so like Spartan abilities, they're there. Cool that you've got me. And if they evolve the armor, and what I want to see is it evolve from 5, then yeah, then I'm totally okay with that. Like it doesn't even have to be just like 5. Just be an evolution from 5, not an evolution from something in the
Halo
early
2.
2000s. Like you just have that progression. Like I want to see that, especially with Master Chief. You want to see that progression with Master Chief and that character. I mean, I even like made up like how can I even make it this like okay in my head and like all these different types of things. So like it's just how it goes.
He tried. He tried. And he's like, how can I make it okay in my
Well,
head?
hopefully they can. Hopefully, like, look, if they keep, I know that they want to keep Chief to look more lifelike, but I mean, we're talking about the Master Chief. He is larger than life.
He's a tank.
So he's a tank, and so the fact that hopefully that's just his start off armor, and then that he can evolve his armor in the game, whatever how this new game is going to be.
Now you're going to the conspiracy territory where I was thinking, right? So like, imagine like okay, if you haven't seen the end of Halo 5, they know that they win the slip space and that's where they left off, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what happens if they come out of slip space? They're basically barely made it out of there alive. They're crash landing on an unmarked Halo ring, kind of throwback to the original Halos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Halo's, I mean, Master Chief's all busted up from the crash. Halsey is her name, or Halsey. She's about to die. She basically transferred her essence into a new AI, goes into Master Chief. Master Chief has to get in some busted ass old armor, right? Because like his other stuff is just totally broken, and then you start off the series like almost like kind of like Halo 2, right? Like far as your abilities, but you progress and you get like new bits of armor and get all that stuff kind of like upgraded. As basically Halsey, I keep saying her name wrong, but
there's an L in there. You're not pronouncing that.
Yeah,
Let you be
Halsey. Yeah, but Halsey basically becomes the new, instead of a clone of her, it's actually her essence imported into the next generation AI, which her and Master Chief are basically going up against Cortana. I mean, I would love to kind of see it go that direction.
You can tell Don has thought about this too.
Yeah, I mean, like how can I make it okay and have that progression, but like it's still at the same token, like I just don't want to lose anything. I don't want to start over. I just want to continue where we left off.
Keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you.
And once if you get split up from everybody, right? Like so, like you're basically you're trying to get off this Halo ring, and next thing you know, who knows who Master Chief will team up with? Maybe Parsa or Cyrus team, part of Blue Team, right? It could be different groups, and then it creates like kind of a new.
But not Locke. Locke's on vacation. Like he's
who knows?
Man,
Locke
get out of here, man.
Get fresh crew. The new get fresh crew.
Locke never coming back.
Locke's coming back, bro. I'm hate to tell the Locke haters out there. Locke is coming back, but I'm saying that you could be onto something there. Because Team Osiris, because the fact of it is that even though maybe people might not like Locke, but people like Team Osiris because they like Buck. So that's fine. If they want to like the white guy, that's cool.
Well, Team Osiris is coming back, but not Locke.
Yeah, hater. Anyway, so another thing, but Don, you could be onto something by saying that they could be all split up because don't forget about the Arbiter and his crew.
Yeah.
So, it could be you have part of blue team that's out there that's with Locke. You can have team part of the Arbiter's team going, and that can make a good setup for bringing in Atriox because red team is still out there, and that scientist from the Halo Wars 2 at the ending of that. Oh my God! Like the potential is so there.
There's so much going on right now in the universe that's why I said the next Halo could quite possibly be the best one in the franchise. You got Cortana, Atriox, you got the Flood, you got other Spartans now that are willing to go into battle as well. The new Spartan program. There's so many crazy things. You got the ship kind of like running from Cortana right now, and the Guardians. Like there's so much going on. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, they also, I mean, their Halo community is super crazy. They go super in depth, but they're finding out that Cortana is now in charge of part of the Covenant now.
Oh wow.
So
could you imagine?
So there's a mix up in the Covenant now.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, because there was a hardcore Covenant that would follow anything like Forerunner based, and if she has taken over the mantle, then they would now pledge allegiance to her as opposed to anything else. Like I can definitely see that. Guys, we're going to start running short on time. We got to move to Sony real quick. We got to hear the good and the bad on that. So for that, I'm going to go to K Mega first. I don't believe you went to the conference, but
no, only the few special privilege that got to go.
Oh no,
mostly media and a few
a few rock stars.
Whatever. A few rock stars to go into church. But I will say I'll be quick. I give it a 7 out of 10, and a lot of people were looking at me crazy when I said that on GRG live because the games that they showed were appealing. Even though it was very not all the games, but when they showed The Last of Us looked, I love Tomb Raider, and the game looked Tomb Raider-esque. So you can't hate it. Now, not against homosexuals or anything like that. I don't mind women kissing and shit like that, but I'm trying to grab around why is that necessary? Yeah, why was that even there? Now I understand that gay pride was around the same time that E3 started, so maybe that could be a part that was brought up. But
maybe Last of Us 2 is based around more of a love story, and they wanted to do it in a more progressive manner this time. With how society is now and how accepting kind of like a lot of people are when it comes to different lifestyles and stuff like that. They might have.
I don't mind kicking ass with a gay person. That's not in a game. That's not my thing. I'm just saying that's not my problem. The problem was that it just didn't fit into the narrative of what was going on to me.
Yeah. So you're saying that's not what you think of when you're kissing a girl?
No, I'm not thinking about killing people. But I mean, I understand that Ellie she's a killer. So I mean, I get it. But once it got to the gameplay, it was fire. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely cop it. Like I said, Spider-Man was dope.
Spider-Man, baby.
Spider-Man was dope, Jack. Like I said, okay, I want to go out here to the stage floor and get a good close-up. I didn't get a chance to play it because the line was too long, but definitely seeing the gameplay of it looks really fun. I think that like when it comes to a lot of depth, it's just kind of like any other open world game. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fun game to play. Ghost of Tsushima, very unfortunate that it wasn't on the floor, that nobody didn't see anything. There was nothing there.
That's because it's a PlayStation 5 game. That's what I'm saying.
Pretty much. But I was stoked about it because it gave me it was a reminiscent of not of these soul games that everybody's going to now. It was kind of like going back to the Ninja Gaiden with the free movement a little bit, using the parry, fast action.
Yo, Mega, I gotta say, like, we did the live reaction on that. When the two main characters decided to fight each other, I think you would have like pride. Did you see how the camera angle changed into more of a fighting game style? They went like from on the left side and right side, and they did it more in terms of like DOA. They switched up the angle. I thought that was awesome the way they did that, man.
Right, yeah, I did like that. Looking at their look, nobody can tell me anything bad about Super Lucky's Tale because that one little game with the cartoon characters running around and getting electrocuted in the bathtub. I'm like, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So,
I forgot about that. Oh,
yeah, didn't care about Destiny. You know what I'm saying? You know, I want to play Destiny with you guys, but not caring about the DLC. I think Destiny is low. That was probably the most disappointing because that line for Destiny at E3 was short. Like,
really?
Yeah, man. Like, I if I wanted to play it, I could have played it multiple times. The line was just not long at all.
Well, Mega, I gotta say, there's quite a few people in the chat who just recently picked up Destiny 2, and they're saying it's a lot of fun, man. So.
Well, no, Destiny 2 is fun to play with friends and I guess like that. But what I'm saying on the showroom floor, it just wasn't a lot of people there to play it. I mean, I was just sitting there looking like, oh my god,
dude, I would have been getting in line, playing, going back in line, playing again. Like,
but that's the thing. Did they have the new DLC playing, or did they have just regular
Gambit?
The new DLC where the I guess the guy is dead or something.
The new game mode, Gambit.
The new game mode. Yeah, it was there. It was playable. Yeah.
It's probably because people probably saw that trailer and were like, "Oh shit, freaking."
You guys killed Cade. Fuck all y'all.
Cade died. Yeah, pretty much. Because I was pissed.
It just didn't get a lot of traction. Of course they were showing a lot of VR, but Call of Duty. I hate to say this, guys, but you know what? If again. Battlefield has another opportunity to take over, to take the reins over.
Dude, you said this like 3 years in a row, man.
No, I didn't. Not for Battlefield 1. I said before for because of the fact that it looks like Black Ops 3 graphically. It doesn't look any better. It doesn't. And that's really unfortunate. And the lines were long for the game because people were playing and stuff like that as COD, but I had no interest in playing it. But you know what I'm saying? Again, overall for Sony's show, I like I said, I gave it a C because Ghost of Tsushima looked really good. Spider-Man looked good. Last of Us looked really good. So that's the thing that kept the show good. But the show overall was the production was ass. It was
pacing was really bad in the beginning.
It was ass. And then I mean, we were thinking like once you seen the dude coming out there with the banjo playing the music that it was going to tie into the game. Nope. The guy with the little flute, whatever the hell that thing was, tie into the game. Nope. It was terrible, man. It was terrible. But that's my thing.
Man, my leg is falling asleep listening to K Mega.
All right. Well, let's move on then.
Dang.
I was done.
Well, Don decided he was going to chime in. So why doesn't the Don go next, dude? What did you think about Sony's conference, man?
I didn't like the fact that they show things too far out without release dates.
Dude, we are going to argue about this for like ever. Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing is like you don't know what the final product's going to end up being because of that. So like my answer still stands on that. So I don't like the fact that they show things without release dates too far out, and I didn't like the way the structure of the show. But what I did like a lot is the fact that they doubled down on gameplay. I would like. I know it's still kind of a mock-up, but I still prefer seeing somebody with a controller out there. You know, even if it is fake.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, playing that. So, you know. I didn't like that factor of it.
Dude, I haven't heard anybody else state the fact that nobody was on stage with a controller in their hand.
That's kind of how you show games that are really far out because you have to do 25, 30, 40 gameplays just to get the right angles, get the right pacing, get it so it doesn't crash, you know, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of kind of that sort of stuff going on. But I like to see finished project. I like to see what the game's actually going to look like when I'm going to buy it. Those games will evolve, up or down in different areas. So But I like the fact that they did show gameplay. And I'm not even a fan of Last of Us or really any Naughty Dog games, but The Last of Us was incredibly entertaining to watch, and I'm kind of curious if it, if the gameplay matches the graphics, and we'll go from there.
Does the curtain match the carpet?
Nah, I'm not going there. I know where you're going with that.
That's all I thought of, man.
Okay, before you go to somebody else, I will say this. I'm sorry I didn't get to say it because I know I was talking more about COD more than I need to talk about. Death Stranding is fucking weird. Was not shown. They only showed that.
Dude, I thought they escaped from you, man.
No, Death Stranding is weird. And Kojima. Can I say my little Kojima thing right fast?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Look, man, let me tell you this. All the devs, I even met the guy from ID Xbox. Really nice guy, man. Like I said, mostly all the devs that I got a chance, all the devs that I talked to or got to interact with, they were awesome. They talked to you. They were accessible. They wanted to hear your input. Let me tell you this. Kojima comes in the spot, right? I'm like, damn, I'm gonna take a picture of him, right? But my camera was full. But my boy Super G was right there in his face to take a Kojima. He said, "Hey, Kojima." Kojima comes with an entourage, right? Not
security
entourage,
guards.
Bodyguards. He comes with bodyguards. And so he's about to take a picture of Kojima. He takes the picture. It looks like Kojima's about to throw his finger up to say, his thumbs up. Somebody puts his hand down and pushes Super G's hands down, says, "No pictures." Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? Like, out of all the people that was there, everybody was saying, I know Kojima gets he gets all this love and everything like that. But man, you're looking at your consumers that maybe want to buy your shit. How are you going to treat your fan base like that? That was disrespectful.
Damn.
Trash. And Resident Evil 2, that remake, it is legit. That's what I was going to say.
Dude, that shit looks good. I saw a gameplay.
It looks amazing.
So, K-Mega, when you're my bodyguard at E3, like, we have to approach this a little bit differently, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we got to approach that a little bit different because
gotcha.
I say, "The Don," I'm like, you better take your punk ass over there and talk to
Yeah, that's right. I want you keeping me in line. That's perfect.
Yeah.
We gotta work on your introduction for the Don, though, man. You just didn't do it right. There was no energy there, man.
Hey, listen here. The collector's edition of my game's going to come with a keychain with that introduction on it.
No.
So do I get my $2 then? I don't know.
No.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit up Pred. And then right after Pred, we'll go Dark Optimus, and then we'll let everybody, that kind of like that moment people have been waiting for. Everybody's kind of like game of the conference, and then. We could do the whole 40-year-old with a comb over, do the plugs, all that good stuff. So, Predator, what did you think about Sony's conference, man? Did you absolutely love it? Are you excited for the games that they showed and, when they come out? What's the deal, man?
Trash.
And that's it. Yeah.
I thought, I'm with Don on this. Like, I like that they doubled down. They put gameplay out there. I think they did a really good job of putting out gameplay and showing us something. Complete opposite of what Microsoft did, but it was a lot of wasted time. The pan flute Yanni dude came out, the dude with the banjo came out and wasted probably about 25 minutes of the show.
I think Yanni feels like that statement was disrespectful to him right there.
Who did? Oh, fuck him, I don't care. The whole, keep in mind, we're watching this from, our homes, right? I wasn't at E3 like Mega was, but even if I was in a stage, I wouldn't want to move around from one location to the next, and that wasted from the gameplay time to the time they started the next part of the show. It 30 minutes had passed by, and that included them moving and going off to the other camera and also the bullshit they did. Because I don't know if you went back and watched the actual show that we saw.
Yeah, we seen it.
But what we saw, we were like, that. What the fuck? What's going on? And we're expecting you have an intermission and you just started the show, what's happening here? And I thought that was a big misstep on their part. They
could have filled it up with better things to talk about, better kind of announcements and stuff like that.
Announce some of the other games, show gameplay of other stuff that you guys have coming out. And then again, going back to what I said about the Xbox conference, a lot of shit was not shown at the Sony conference either. Like they could have shown a lot more gameplay. They could of other games that are out, like DLC or something. Talk about something else other than what the fuck they were talking about, which I don't even remember. That's how insignificant it was. They moved on from one thing and they threw some game, I guess some game in there, I guess somewhere in there.
Did you
But
find
like
yourself tuning out like as
I
soon as they
I
went to
was
that?
like I was like the hype level, like I was hyped about Last of Us. I think that's what they started off with, and then they moved on to like the intermission, and then like the pan flute guy, and then like between the opening, the game, and then the intermission, I was already tuned out within the first 30, 45 minutes of it. Like I was hyped about the game, the play they showed, but then when they came back, I was like, finally, like I mean, I took a piss, I mean, like I literally, I'm not even lying. I went to the bathroom in one of the scenes. The guy was still playing the fucking flute, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are they still showing this guy? Like, you're wasting so much time. You put so much money into getting this stadium set up, the stage set up for this conference, and you got a concert going on. People did not come there and fly all the way from the fucking Eastern Seaboard to fucking California to watch a fucking pan flute. Sorry. I mean, I know he was like.
Sorry to disappoint you. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he's the biggest guy, I guess, in that little whatever the fucking peace pipe he was blowing on. But like, I guess he's good at it. That's fine. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to, put some ambiance in there, but like it lasted a little bit too long. And
it fell super flat, right? Like
yeah,
it didn't really trigger.
The delivery sucked.
Delivery is really bad.
And that was my biggest knock on the conference. The gameplay they showed was fire. I love the games they showed. I love what I saw from the games they showed. But like, go back to like the Crystal Dynamics show. It was like fucking 30 minutes, right? And at the end, we're like, that's it? That's it? But like, all that shit that Sony did could have been condensed in that same time frame. Like just game, and they could have been done and out of the way, but they filled it with a bunch of fluff. And that was my biggest takeaway from their show was like it could have been so much better with the gameplay they added. Had they filled in those 3 segments, the pan flute guy, the banjo guy, and that little intermission part, removing people from one place to the next, they could have filled that in with other stuff. Okay. Even if it was PSVR, they could have like something, but like they just those 4 games, and again, they mentioned what they're bringing. They said that months ago, or weeks ago, that they're only bringing those 4 games, and that's fine.
Well, no, they said also surprises and third party, and one of my biggest things besides the pacing at the beginning of the show, I feel the pacing got better once they got to the main stage, but at the beginning of the show, they tried something new, they swung at it. And they struck out. Basically, is what happened. Yeah,
But like all the third-party deals they had, you mean to tell me we couldn't gotten some Red Dead Redemption?
Dude, how are you only going to show Cade dying as like you got a marketing deal with Destiny 2, and that was the best you could come up with? That quick kind of like trailer clip, and then moving on to the next thing. When it came to Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty is supposed to be one of their biggest kind of like, third-party marketing contracts. And what did they show? Next to absolutely nothing on that. And I'm like, damn. Like,
and you know what? You say that, and those 3 segments that they like slowed the pace up could have been filled with those 2.
Just gameplay.
Exactly.
They acted like they didn't want to be at E3. Like I said, when you was in Activision, Call of Duty was full because PlayStation wouldn't allow you to play COD on their stage, on their floor. Because unless you were a big time industry person, or you were somebody of the know, you had to set up an appointment. Because we went up there and we looked like there was no line there, so we went up there and we was like, hey, we want to get to play. And they was like, well, who are you? And we were saying, well, we're YouTubers, but we only had game passes. We didn't have industry passes. Well, you also have the industry pass, and then we also have to clear you to see if you are eligible to be. If you're eligible to play COD on our floor. We were like, are you kidding me? This is Call of Duty. What? Yeah, it was trippy.
Like, if I were you, Mega, I would have looked at them square in the eyes and been like, all right, I'm going back to play Battlefield. Have fun, yeah.
I did. That's why I wasn't tripping, because I was like, well, I'm going to go play I'm going to play But it was crazy because like when Kojima was talking on stage, was talking because they had a big ass screen, and there were people that were not sleeping, but there were people sitting on the floor. There were people sitting on the floor watching him talk and stuff like that. And we were just kind of like, man, like, all right,
it's cool. Like he's telling a ghost story?
Yeah, like he was like they was behind the scenes, and it was like showing a filmed interview of Kojima, and there was just like maybe about 20, 30 people that were sitting on the floor. Just why I'm like, why you couldn't get chairs for these people? Why you gotta have them sitting on the floor? And and then like for the PlayStation store that they had, it was
Kojima's like, that's the
outside in a
perfect height
tent.
for him. Yeah, like,
Well, it was outside in a tent, and you would think they would have other games playable. The only game that they had playable was the baseball game. Was the show? Was this year's show?
So
I was like,
2019.
wow.
that's
Yeah, it
crazy.
was.
You know what, one more
No, no, I was wrong. Then it was
Death
2018.
Stranding.
It was
What the fuck is that
2018.
game?
It's why I don't know. Nobody knows. Like I was trying to talk to
Like
some
the
people
third,
that was in
third
line
year
that
in a
wanted it.
row where he's been on the stage and we still have more questions about what this game is than answers. And like,
Right, like yeah, like there was some people that were really big fans. They bought Kojima's stuff, and I was like, what do you think about the game?" And he was like, "Okay, I'm not really sure, but this is what I project." Right? He's thinking that this team are planetary people that went on another planet, and they basically came out there, and that there has these entities. What happens is that for every time that they get sucked up into the world, I mean, they get sucked up by these beings, part of that world gets destroyed, and you see whales and you know what I'm saying. So the more that you get caught by these enemies, and so what the baby is for, the baby can see these entities, or the fetus can see these entities, and so as long as you avoid them, you don't have to get sick. Like I don't know, man. That story is so out there. It's so weird.
that was a hypothetical
Ah,
question, but Meg, I didn't expect you to try to
I
answer
don't
it.
know. I'm trying to figure the fucking out myself. I'm trying to figure it out, man.
man,
Man,
don't
they've lost me after like the third trailer.
guys,
Like,
don't hurt yourself trying to figure this out. But you can hurt yourself when Dark Optimus tells us what he feels about the Sony E3 conference this year. So, yo, Dark man, what did you think, dude?
Well, I went back and I watched it again, and I was like, in the beginning when we first watched it all together, it was like, oh yeah, this is some of the games that they were showing off. It was cool, and then I watched it again last night after Crossfire. Shout out to Mooch over there at Crossfire. Ooh.
Is that the sound of your shout out right there?
Well, hey, like I try. I can't. I'm not like you guys. I can't get like all like all excited.
Trust me, we will be working on that with you, man.
But I watched it again and I was all like, yeah, these games. I have to agree with you, Bot. I started watching it again and I was all like, because I was just caught up in the moment of E3, and I watched it again and I have to agree, man. Like, I think these games are far out, man. I think even The Last of Us 2, I think is far out there. I don't think it's coming next year. Honestly, I don't think they're gonna have any games next year that are exclusive.
Well, then it'll be third party is great again, and you don't need exclusives. That's what the deal is.
Right, but they'll be the narrative. I mean, they'll probably have Days Gone, and then that'll probably be it. Which is okay, which is fine, whatever. They're gonna.
Last of Us 2 might come. It might creep in the end of 2019, but expect a PlayStation 5 version.
Honestly, I don't think so.
I said might, man.
I don't think it will. They showed off some good stuff. They showed Ghost of Tsushima, which looked awesome. They showed Spider-Man. That looked great. I mean, we already knew that was coming anyway, so it wasn't like, oh my god, yeah. Woohoo! Oh, Spider-Man. But and then they showed Control, which was a lot of people thought, oh, this is an exclusive to PlayStation, and everyone's like, it's not. Like it's not. It's gonna be a multi.
It's funny to see people get excited about that because they're using the exact same graphic kind of like tone as Quantum Break.
It's exactly like it's a successor to Quantum Break 2. I mean Quantum Break. Honestly, it's probably what they wanted Quantum Break to be, and they decided to do it.
Yeah, and it looks like a low budget Quantum Break, to be honest with you.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I mean, it still looks interesting. I'm gonna buy it, but like it doesn't look at the same level
Right.
as Quantum Break did.
They just told me that it was basically off the
I
same
don't know.
engine.
It looked good to me. It looked great to me. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these, giving no release dates. They didn't even say the release for freaking Spider-Man. They could have
Which we already know. We already
know, but
they wanted to keep it uniform.
Put that on the stage, And then to hear what K Mega's talking about, it makes me almost it makes me sad, dude, to hear that, Sony and their booth and you'd have to be like a media person in order to even like join in on their festivities. It's like, what? Like you don't see any other company doing that. Like you didn't see Xbox doing that. They were like all about
whatever you do, don't get too upset and sell your PS4 because then you lose your Fortnite stuff, man. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Well, I lose my Fortnite. I lose all the games that I've already played and finished. So
Johnny Rat.
There's that too. And it's like I get it. They have exclusives there at PlayStation, but I don't think PlayStation can really beat the fan appreciation and love that Microsoft gives to all of us that are huge, into gaming,
Yeah.
like not just Xbox fans. They show love to people who aren't Xbox fans as well, so you can't deny them that.
No.
They just, and it's like when Mega was talking about that, like Mega dude, I was like I can't even believe it. I can't even believe that you would have to go through that now in our day and age of 2018 of like them being like, oh well, who are you? You're nobody. Then get the fuck away from me, basically. That's basically how it was.
Let me be clear. That was just with Call of Duty. They let people play Spider-Man in VR, but
it was only Call of Duty.
It was just Call of Duty. Let me be clear.
Was it in the conference center or was it like some sort of setup outside?
No, it was in the conference center inside.
Okay, so it was only Call of Duty, but still, even it's fucking Call of Duty. Who gives a shit?
Right.
Just let people play it.
They gotta protect that innovation in graphic fidelity and quality and gameplay mechanics, man. They can't
I thought they were protecting the children.
Oh yeah, protecting the children too. Yeah. So I mean, the more and more I hear about what's going on over there at PlayStation, the more and more I think to myself, like, I'm so glad I have both consoles, because then I don't have to deal with that too much. I can play their exclusives. Yeah, they'll give me their single player exclusives, and I'll be done with them after a couple of weeks or a week or two, and then I'll move on and go back to Xbox. That's how it's always kind of been, like with PlayStation games. Like they've always come out with games like Ghost of Tsushima looked like it could be like this Witcher open world type of game, but I doubt it's going to be like that at that scale. It'll probably be more like God of War, where it's kind of like, sections are probably open, but not all of it's open.
And no Neo 2 either. That was crazy.
And Neo 2, like I was like, I don't even care. Like the first one to me was bad. I didn't like Neo. So
I'll take Neo over Nier any day. So
I like Nier. I like Nier better than Neo. I was really hyped for Neo, but I might
change your mind come June 29th with Nier Automata coming out and for the Xbox, because
4K 60, baby. 4K 60.
It's actually a pretty good game. Like I played it. I played the demo. I didn't play the game, but I played the demo and I actually enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, if anybody out there, there is a feature called game gifting on the Xbox One. If anybody really wants me to try that out, if I get that game as a gift, I will stream it on Mixer, and
please,
you will see my my reaction to that game all the way through. I will give it a shot that way.
Please, somebody gift him that game because I think he actually definitely has to play it because I think he'll actually.
It's a trick, guys. It's a trick. It's a trap. Don't do it.
It's a trap.
But overall, I think it was terrible. Like they just had a what was that? Like they went into a church and then they moved to another location, and then they had a pregame before the pregame, and they had a pregame after pregame.
Well, they had a pregame during the game
within the game. They had a pregame within a game. Oh my god, dude! Like, what is going on right now? And it was just man, I can't believe that they showed that they don't care about E3. They just don't. Like it to me. I saw that they just don't care about E3. That's it. We're gonna do whatever we're gonna do.
Oh, there goes the music.
Oh, there's the music, Dark. I hate to cut you off, but man,
it's all good.
My director and my producer
are
saying that it is about that time. We are getting to the main event. Just kind of like real quickly, like quick thoughts. I need everybody's kind of like game of the conference, and I am going to go last because there's certain people that think I'm going to go a certain way, but I might not. So I'm trying to think who should kick this off, man. You know what? We're going to go with Predator. I really liked what he's had to say today, and I'm really interested to see because we got Division 2, we got Forza, we got Spider-Man, we got a lot of really good games to choose from. So Predator, one game out of this entire conference. Like, let us know what it is and give us just a quick gush or two about it, and then we'll move on.
I know everybody expected me to say Division 2, but that is not it, even though it did look really good. I thought Rage 2 looked amazing.
Ooh.
Damn, you took mine.
Oh, man, that game looks so fire, and I've never played Rage, and I saw that. I was like, I need this now. It just reminded me of a lot of like, what was that game that just came out recently that I played? Mass Effect with the little, I guess, like the killing animation, stuff like that. What you can hit people with different shit and have them float in the air and you can shoot them with it. That shit looks so fucking amazing. Like the explosions, I was lost in that shit, man. I've never played Rage, and I was like, I'm getting this game.
Nice.
So, for me, that was it. Rage was it for me.
Dude, you did not disappoint me, man. Like, yeah, I thought you might go Division 2, but I know you kind of, you do your homework, you look at everything, and you really analyze stuff. So, damn, Rage 2, first and foremost for Predator. Now, Don, you said that was the same game for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's between that and Crackdown. Crackdown is what I'm excited for.
You got to only pick one, man.
Well, he picked Rage, so I'll pick Crackdown. I am really, truly excited for that game.
Are you excited about the gameplay or the tech behind it?
Everything. I'm a huge Crackdown 1 fan.
Okay.
So like, I am looking forward to Crackdown.
I've never played it, and that's why I asked that question, because I'm more excited about the tech.
Have you played any of the Crackdowns?
Never touched it.
Okay, here's what I did. Like, did you get it for free through Xbox Live Gold? You ever?
I might actually have it.
Look in your library. If you have your library, you and I are gonna play that co-op.
Oh, hell yeah!
Like, literally, the last time I tried, just kind of seeing the X enhancements on the older game like that, just kind of see what Crackdown looked like with that. I meant to just turn it on, run around the city for like 5 minutes, and turn it off, or switch to another game. I ended up getting sucked in for 6 hours. It's. I mean, if you like that type of game,
that's that 1 or 2 you're talking about.
1's good. 2 is questionable.
I like 2 too, so I said 2.
You did.
All right, well, check this out. Let's go K Mega. K Mega, I'll be interested to hear. You were there. You were at the Xbox conference. You got to play a lot of these games. I think I know where you might lean, but like I said, game of the conference and 1 or 2 gushes, and we could go on to Dark Optimus.
Well, you know what? The game I played the most was Battlefield 5.
I knew it.
But that's not it.
Oh, you twisted.
But that's not it. That's not it. It's going to be, for me, it's going to be Forza Horizon 4. That 4K 60 does make a difference. That I was not excited about the British being in Britain. because I was stoked about Hong Kong or Tokyo. You got to put your hands on that game, man. That game is life. So there's another.
I still want one in Japan, and I want it to where they really kind of fill out that aftermarket where you could put a lot more like aftermarket parts on your car in terms of like aesthetics and stuff, because that's the Japanese car culture over there, that they're all about the aftermarket. But seeing the seasons in Britain, oh my goodness,
and you drive on every and through the demo you drive through every season, and just the feel of it, just the new shit that you can do. There's motorcycles in the game. Like, I don't know if they're playable, but there's motorcycles in the game. Wow. Fire.
What is going on?
What happened?
What happened?
Oh, he's done talking, I think.
I got one of my kids talking to me right now. Like, they gotta figure it out, dude. I'm in the middle of a live show, sir. Okay?
This is why you don't get gameplay bot.
and people should not be worried about Jump Force. Jump Force is very fun, addictive, fast, action-paced, and that game, you can tell that game is in still early development, but I'm telling you, that game is going to be dope. So also with Soul Calibur 6 as well. That they will not just the Witcher, Geralt the White Wolf. Yes, fire.
Oh my goodness. Yo, Dark, man, what was your game of the conference, sir?
Minecraft.
Yeah, good job. It wasn't even there, and it still won.
No. You know what it was? It was actually Anthem, man. I was like, this is definitely something that I could see killing Destiny, and Destiny 2. I could see this definitely being something that's just gonna, take that type of formula and bring it and turn it on its head and just make it just a freaking full-on force driving to take out those two games. So I mean, I'm absolutely excited for it. And then there was just so many games, man. I can't just say just
you
one.
Only had
I do have to give you one more, and that was Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
Dude, you've been talking about that game ever since they showed it, man.
Yeah, dude, I cannot wait for that. Oh god, dude, because I love Tenchu. Like, Tenchu was a fucking awesome, badass game, and them kind of like doing like a successor to that. It just, oh man, I cannot wait.
Yo, shout out to Vogel. He was like, how much longer? He's like, I gotta find some chairs to find.
I want to say something real quick. Mr. Kima, no. It on the X, Forza is 4K 60. On the Xbox One X, it is 4K 60.
No, 4K 30, 1080 60, man.
No, it's 4K. It's 4K 60. That's what they were saying.
Yeah. They can't.
You said 1080p 60?
Yeah. We'll look into it more.
On the
man.
X, like, it's 4K 60 dude.
4K
yeah, I thought it was
60?
4K 60.
Dude, then why would you have any other kind of mode on that?
They were running. That's something that I got to look in, because they were saying 4K 60.
Yeah, we gotta look in on that, man.
They were using the QLEDs. So I mean,
Mega. I don't even think they had the 60 mode playable. Is what they said.
No, they didn't. They were using off of some kind of those mod things, but what they said on the stage floor and what they were saying around there was that it was 4K 60. So yeah, that's something that I got to look into.
Oh,
okay.
Delilah said it's dynamic at 60 frames per second and it is 4K 30 locked.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, Delilah. Shout out to Delilah in the chat for clearing that up. Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah.
Here we go. My game of the conference, and my boy Mooch, he is all but certain that I am gonna pick Spider-Man, and Spider-Man looks so freaking awesome. What they showed in the conference and showing all them villains and everything like that, but I'm gonna have to take a left turn here, and I have to go Forza Horizon 4 to see the seasons change.
To emphasize on that.
I think think that game does left turns and right turns.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just interested in left turns.
Yeah, he only goes left.
Yeah, but to see the seasons, to see, because these guys are over there in Britain, and that they were gonna bring that detail out when they started showing this, and it looked absolutely spectacular. You already know the game is gonna play great, but to see them upgrade the visuals over Forza Horizon 3, to me was absolutely incredible. I didn't think that they could get any better. And every time, when it comes to Turn 10, when it comes to Playground Games, whenever I think they can't do any better, they just blow my mind again. And I cannot wait. I am so glad that they decided to do Game Pass as well. I feel that is a huge foundation when it comes to Xbox, and for people who have Game Pass, you will be able to play that game day and date of the worldwide release. That game is absolutely incredible. I love what Xbox is doing when it comes to pro-consumer initiatives such as Game Pass, and I cannot wait to get in there and play it. I have a feeling that there is going to be a record of active users on that Horizon, man.
Did you see how many people bought the 3?
No.
I mean, I don't really care about the sales numbers. Obviously, they're extremely successful, but like the number is pretty insane for Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, do you have the number on you right now, sir?
I don't, because I have heard some conflicting. They're both really high, so I don't really know.
I think even Phil on that interview he did a couple of days ago said that the games in Game Pass were actually selling better than they expected.
Mm-hmm.
State of Decay and Sea of Thieves were selling better than they actually thought they were. So Game Pass is a plus, but the games are still selling traditionally record numbers, I guess. Numbers are not expecting.
Yes, well, see, this is something that's never been done before, really, especially in the console space. So a lot of people try to predict what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, we really don't know. So as, Xbox is getting the numbers in, he even said that he was surprised by the amount of people actually buying games. And not only that, they're buying more games as well. Because if you think about it, you have Game Pass, you already have, you have like the exclusives on lockdown, so you might branch out and grab other games, or there's games that you didn't think of buying that are in Game Pass, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to go that next month.
Well, the funny thing is they already knew that, but just they were shocked by the number. Does that make sense?
The numbers went over what they expected.
Exactly. So like they did kind of expect that sort of behavior, but not to the same degree.
It's absolutely crazy. But guys, this is another.
Mega, what is this game?
Oh, this is I can't think of the name of it right now.
This is called I can't think of the name of it right now, and I am looking for the sequel.
That's footage. That's why.
What'd you say?
He said it's great footage, and you did a really bang up job.
What a dick. I'm gonna look for it right fast before we get. I'll tell it to you before we get out of here.
All right, okay. Nice. Well, guys, like I said, another E3 in the bag. We had Predator, we had Dark in on our festivities. The Gauntlet. Dark was there kind of part time. He was there in and out. But,
I had to do both, man. I had double duty.
Yep. Anyway. But no, it was another one in the bag. Another great E3 showing. I know I had a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of gamers out there that are excited for the future of console gaming. And guys, can you believe it? 2018. I remember, a few years ago, there were people predicting that console gaming was dead, and look at what's going on now. Huge shout out to all the gamers out there, playing on your consoles, whatever platform you prefer. You are going in and you are proving these people wrong. That console gaming is here to stay, and it is a huge community that just keeps getting bigger. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, we gotta get those plugs in, people. Let's start with the longest one in the bunch, and that would be K-Mega. You got the scroll? You unrolled it? You ready to go, man?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. And the game is called Hidden Dragon Legends. It's on PlayStation 4. Yeah, it's a good game, really good. Vote for K Mega. Check me out on BGST. Check me out on the GRG podcast every Friday night. You know what I'm saying? After Crossfire at 8:30 Central, 9:30 what was it? Yeah, 9:30 Eastern, and I think it's what 6:30 Pacific. Okay, check us out there. We started a new podcast, which is a sports podcast called the JOH Hour. Come check us out then. We sit there. We had our
Are you guys
going to
get on Kawhi?
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about that. We'll talk about that. We'll start back up next week. Next weekend, Saturday or Sunday. We still got to get together what we gonna do. The Dev and the Gamer. Hopefully, we'll go ahead and we'll do something here pretty soon, Don.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Well, we may do some Halo 4 tonight. If Sea of Thieves is not on.
Yeah.
Depends on what happens, because there's a lot of people who want to do. They want to take a ride on the Republican, so we may have to take her out for a spin.
Green bean casserole crew in the house. So we're ready to go. And so other than that, and then also with the Sea of Thieves DLC, that looked really dope too. And I told you I got my Sea of Thieves tattoo on my forearm. The anchor.
You get the peg leg as well.
No, I didn't get the peg leg, but I got the anchor. Yar, let's go. Yar. So anyway, and also whenever I get the chance, to catch me on the multiplayer. And man, thank you guys so much, man. And big shout out to the GWG and to everybody else that I got to meet out there at E3, man. It was a wonderful fucking time, man. I cannot wait till next year.
Nice. And I gotta say, huge shout out to the chat tonight. You guys
Intro Media Gaming. Sorry.
Yeah, no, we're kind of used to that, man. Yeah. But huge shout out to the chat tonight. You guys were on fire. Not only that, consistently up over 100 people watching basically through the whole show. Absolutely love the support for the panel, for the show. Thank you guys so much. The Don, let's go in and see exactly where people can get a hold of you and what you've been up to, man.
Yeah, the best thing to do is follow me on Twitter, which is the Don_KTR. Gamer tag's the same, just no underscore, just a space. And follow bot too, so you can vote on the gameplay. Vote for whoever you want, doesn't really matter, just participate, guys.
I think he's using reverse psychology right there. He's like, vote for whoever you want, and they're like, oh, that's so nice, man. He's so level-headed. We're gonna vote for him. It's not gonna work, Don.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
It's not gonna work.
I don't know where you're going with that.
I got my tinfoil hat on, man. It's all good. It's not gonna work, yeah.
You have it on too tight. That's the problem.
Yeah, but definitely, over on Twitter, the page is at xbot448. The poll is up. It is pinned to the top. I gotta see who's winning, but I also gotta ask Predator. Predator, man, you gotta let people know where they can get a hold of you and what you've been up to. I know you have been on a bunch of podcasts. Is there any more guest appearances? What's going on, man?
No, God, no. I'm done.
I'm done for 3 days.
It was a rough week, man. It was my first full E3 week, and I've just been on everyone's podcast. But yo, Predator_H2S pretty much everywhere. YouTube, Xbox Live, PlayStation 4, whatever. I'm down to play and talk to anybody online. Great gameplay this week from everybody. Glad to have Mega back finally. So we can talk shit. Somebody asked about that game I was playing, the army game I was playing with the green guys. It's called Mean Greens. It was actually on Xbox Sizzle Reel stage a couple of years ago, but I guess it never came out. I was playing a PC version, but that's it, man. See you guys next week.
Guys, I really don't want to. I don't want to throw a wrench in this great show right now, but I brought up the poll numbers, and so
you don't have to go over that. That's cool, man. See you guys later.
So far, K Mega has 7%. 7%.
Is that first?
I have more than he does. It's great.
Dark Animus is above K Mega right now. You go Dark. It's got to be that
I know, right?
What's that game? Bloodstained?
Please tell me he's not under. I'm not under a K Mega.
You're not.
Okay.
You're ahead.
That's all I need to know.
You're ahead.
I didn't even know that much.
How is the Don leading right now? I have no idea.
It does not matter. By the end of tomorrow, K Mega will win. It's no problem.
He's got to start the campaign now.
So no, I'm not worried about it.
Well, and on that note, hold on. Dark Optimus, man. You became a part of another podcast as well. Why don't you let people know where they can get a hold of you and where they can check out your gaming opinions throughout the week, man.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. You can check me out on the next podcast every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And you can also check me out now on TSGP. That is the Saltiest Gaming Podcast every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, man, you guys can just hit me up on Twitter. I'm almost at 700 follows, so hopefully,
Nice.
I can get that soon. And maybe I might do a giveaway at that point.
Nice. I see 1,000 in your future too. By the way, man.
I know, man.
Go ahead and follow our boy Doc Otter, man. Go ahead and give him to 1,000. Give him a rack.
Yeah, man. That would be awesome. If you guys could give me that, but we'll see.
Nice. Again, guys, it has been an absolute blast. The show, I absolutely love doing the show. I thought we had a great show. We are wrapping up E3. It is Saturday night, though, and the gamers got a game. I know there's people in the chat just itching to pick up their controllers. Thank you again, guys, for all the continued support. Go ahead and share this show out on your favorite social media. If you forgot to hit that thumbs up, definitely do so right now. But like I say, every Saturday, we will check you out next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.